I know I'm forgetting something.
There we go. Hello, folks. We're on the internet. You can hear those guys. I can't hear them.
Yeah, I feel sorry for the guy in the bottom left. He's completely invisible.
See that? There we go. I can hear them now. Hello, hello.
Oh.
Hello.
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 Hello. Hello.
Hello.
So today, we are mostly playing Tale of Cthulhu. Angie, can you give us a bit of a background as to why this story, why we have this adventure that we do today? Where did it come about?
Well, we went to Dragon Con, Dragon Meet last year. About this time last year, actually, it was sort of November, December time.
It was November, yeah.
And on the strict instructions that Mark wasn't to spend a lot of money. And then I went to the stand that sold Cthulhu stuff. And
Pelgrane, yeah.
Pelgrane's, yeah. And then, 70 or 80 quid later, Mark was stood there with a pile of books, which I wanted. Yay! So we bought them, and it's been sat there for a year. And I've been nagging them for a year to play this game. And finally, because it was Spooktober, we get to play it. Woo! Unfortunately, Dragon Meet's cancelled this year, which is probably good.
Well, good for balances. Of the bank variety.
They'll just move it online. You can spend even more.
It's not quite the same.
Limited. I know, but you're not limited to carrying capacity with an online store.
He's already bought two games this week. You bought the Spire, and what was the other one that's coming?
Well, Coin of Blood, it was the Kickstarter, wasn't it?
Oh, the Coin of Blood, yeah. So that's not arrived yet, but Spire arrived. So no, he's not buying any more this week.
She says that. She says that, but you know.
Yeah. So welcome to everybody in chat. Hey Tony. Hey Minnie. Hello to Infinity. Well done for joining us. I've got too comfortable when I'm not too comfortable when I'm not streaming.
You forgot how to do it.
Yeah, there's a few things missing tonight. There'll be no
I never knew. Well, it's all just stuff.
Infinity has just been told off in chat. You got to tell it off.
Hey trolls, how's it going? And I need to sort out Josh as well. Do it on the next. So how is everybody? Are you all keeping well? Lloyd, how did your 24-hour stream go? What was the final charity total?
Muted.
Subtle. The grand total was 850 in the end.
Fantastic.
Wow, done.
Donations. No, it's been pretty good. Like, I think I just did my catching up on Monday because I just didn't really sleep that much on the Sunday. I probably could have kept going, but yeah, you had to draw a line somewhere.
Probably could have kept going.
He probably could have done, but he was sick of Ange nagging him to get up and take a walk.
Yeah.
He didn't get up enough and walk. He didn't.
Yeah. Did you drink plenty of water?
I'm just saying, walk, take a drink. Yeah.
It's all worked out in the end.
Yeah, 850. Congratulations. Very proud of you.
Yeah, awesome.
Absolutely brilliant.
That'd be cool.
When will you hand it over to what kind of
I think it's all automatically handled by Just Giving. So I think they like bundle everything up in like every week or two, and then they just send it over to whatever charity. So it should be with them soon, I guess, if they don't have it already. And then we can see what they do with it, which would be quite cool. I hope
that's cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna be getting a nice little T-shirt for next time.
Yeah,
well,
nice.
we had to visit on Christmas Eve one year with our son who had really struggling to breathe, like really seriously struggling to breathe, and we were first time parents and all. We didn't know what was going on, and there was still staff there. They were still kind of happy. They were still smiling, even though it was going into Christmas Day. Santa Claus made an appearance, and the sun was just purely made up, and so were we by the kindness and generosity of the staff there to be just so kind of how to make a cheery place, like, you know. It was amazing that they did what they could do. And he still got the car. He was just playing with the car he got from Santa that Christmas, as he got a gift, because I guess from fundraising efforts like what you've done, and it just makes such a difference to the parents and the children that are in there. Obviously, some are in for different things. We were lucky enough to get out the next day, and not everybody is. Some people spend a lot longer in those kind of places, and these kind of the money that goes into there just makes such a difference to what they have, because for reasons that we will not get drawn into just now, the government in the United Kingdom are a bunch of fucking wankers, and they don't put the right sort of money and the right sort of priorities into these things to look after the people that need looked
I think
after.
really you kind of need to say what you feel, though, Croy.
Yeah.
And maybe get it off your chest, because I have this feeling.
Did we just do the pre-warm-up online today? Because we didn't do it, did we?
Yeah. So I mean, but
it's true.
It really is. And we shouldn't, as much as we applaud all the efforts that are done in generosity, the fact that it's almost required now of these kind of organisations just to survive, it is a absolute crying shame. So yeah, we do what we should and do what we can, but in a country as wealthy as United Kingdom, it should be this cherry on icing on the top, not the necessity of buying pens and pencils. Fantastic that we got so much raised anyway, for sure. But anyway, that's my one slip into IRL. I will be the last because we have got a hospital of our very own to visit.
I want to know if they've spent enough money on pens and pencils now, though, at this particular hospital.
Ah, well.
If it's anything to do with Cthulhu, there'd be no money.
Or
Yeah.
pens.
Let's find out, shall we?
Mm.
Hello, Master Volume.
Here we go. Oh,
Yeah, okay, so this adventure is set in a hospital. And it's set in a hospital that all the kids say is haunted. And you saw why when you were driven into it, when you were brought up to it. That big gloomy pile, staring windows, all the beds that were there, they should have torn it down years ago. But they let it linger on. I know I'd hate to be a patient here. You're far out of town. There's a new hospital built. A few miles up the road. The snow is deep. You have a view of sorts out over the fields, but the large coniferous pine trees that surround the estate, well, they kind of curtail your vision a little bit out of any windows that you have. You are sleeping. It is nighttime. Yeah. It's nighttime. It's the middle of the night. You are all patients in Ward 3 in Our Lady's Hospital. It's a small, state-run medical hospital funded by our awesome and brilliant NHS. It's old, and it's due to be demolished any year now. There's only a handful of patients, because most of the operations now are done at the larger county hospital just up the road. Well, a few miles up the road. Technically, Our Lady's is part of the county hospital complex. You're all surrounded by the privacy curtain, but you've been sharing a bathroom. Wendy is the most recent of everybody. She hasn't said much since she came in. The rest of you? Well, none of you are high risk. People who are really ill don't normally get sent to Our Lady's. This place is usually for those with minor complaints. Or those who aren't going to survive no matter what hospital they go to. But there's building works underway at the county hospital, so some patients had to be moved to Our Lady's on a temporary basis. It's an unusual cold winter. The grounds outside are blanketed in snow. The forecast is for a big blizzard. Guys, close your eyes, please. Lean back. You're all asleep. Rest your heads on the table. A few moments. Suddenly, a nude madman bursts into your room. He's wild-eyed, emaciated, and stark naked. He jumps onto the bed. Jumps onto your bed, Herman.
Of course. Why did it have to be my bed?
He tears at he tears at your blankets. He's scrabbling like an animal, searching for something. He's searching for your crotch.
I think I flail. Scream. Try and kick him off. I don't know. What's the scale for panic?
You all wake up. Bobby.
Yes.
You notice that this individual is missing his testicles. His scrotum is clearly loose and empty, and it's dribbling blood all over Herman's bed. He's got a hospital patient bracelet on, partially tuned. He's shouting and babbling incoherently. You all wake up.
Help! Help!
I scramble up to the end of my bed and I pull my blanket up to me like that.
I hate you all.
Yeah. Bobby,
Am I restrained in any way?
No.
You are now.
So I was kicking him in the nuts when doing naked.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so Bobby, he jumps up. Oh, sorry, carry on, Josh.
I will stumble up off my bed, make my way across the room and try and grab this guy and get him off the person he's attacking.
Yeah. As you do that, you hear him. He's muttering. Herman, you hear this as well. The eye that sees, and the hand unlocks. He's just gibbering.
I jump out of bed, try and find my slippers and house coat, and throw it on.
So Ed, you use your... What skill would you use in this case, do you think, to bring this person?
I'm attempting to restrain him. I'd assume it falls under scuffling.
Okay. So you're going to wait until you get to him in order to physically engage him?
Pretty much. I'm going to make my way across the room and just sort of grab him and try and restrain him so he stops trying to hurt anybody or himself or whatever's going on. Once he's restrained, we can figure that out.
Yeah. He sees you. He turns round. And he stares at you. No needles, no needles, no needles, no needles, no needles. And as you're doing that, a nurse footsteps are heard down the corridor. If you're going to try and restrain him, it is a scuffling contest. However, at this point, I have to tell you that when you get out of bed at night time, it costs you 1 health point. You are in hospital. You are there for various reasons. So if you get out of bed, then it will cost you 1 health point.
I already jumped up. It was my first instinct.
Yeah.
Is there any chance the beds are on wheels?
Now, if you want to make the scuffling roll, then yes, you can. But in doing so, it will cost you another point of health. You might not feel up to it, but if you want to, then you can.
Don't have much to begin with.
Still running pretty much on adrenaline here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab him before I realise that. Before I remember that I'm injured. I've only just woken up. It's my first instinct.
Yeah. Okay. So roll a...
I've rolled my scuffling. I will take another point of health.
He easily manages to outmaneuver you as you go to grab him. Yeah, he's able to shake you off. He tears the blankets off Herman and grabs Herman with a vice-like grip. Squeezing you, he's got you wrapped around and he's holding on tightly. Blood drips down your leg. You take a point of health damage as he's grabbing onto you.
Ah! Can I use fleeing to try and escape? I don't know. Or that'll be scuffling.
Yeah, at this point, you can try to you can roll a scuffle roll to see if you can manage to kick him off. You hear the hard clack of.
Alright. I'll try roll scuffling to try and beat him off.
Yeah.
I only have like 2 points, so I don't think I can do much.
Oh yeah, you can roll without spending your points. So
yeah.
if you want to.
Where's my character sheet? Hope for the best.
Just roll a d6. There you go.
There
So
we go.
you manage to push him off, and actually in doing so you roll him right off the bed, but his leg gets caught in the guardrails at the side, and you look right down his leg and you see there's still blood pouring from his crotch, and it's now dripping down, and he's lying on the floor and he's doing this, kind of trying to get his leg free, as Ed is standing over him. And he's continuing to shout through all this. He's been shouting, Needles, no needle, no needles, the eyes, the feet, oh no, everything, oh no, I can't keep going, like, I must, and he's just writhing, and his foot's caught on this bed, and he begins to wheel himself round, and he's struggling, so...
I walk across, grab a glass of water and throw it at him to try and calm him down.
Yeah. And this naked nude madman has caught his legs. He freezes his leg, and he's got now scrapes and bruises right down his ankle. He's cut his ankle, and there's blood now from there going down onto his foot, going onto his foot as he stands up, and he begins to walk towards you. He begins to walk to you, Roberta, and he's got blood. And every footprint he makes, he leaves a bloody footprint on the ground with the blood that's just dripped down his leg. And then you hear behind you, the door bursts open.
Oh.
And 2 hospital staff, Nurse Dampier and the porter, grab the intruder. They walk up to him. They just grab him, and the blood just slides across the floor, and he shouts, "They'll come for you too! They'll come for you too!" As he gets pulled back.
I didn't know they had insane people in this hospital.
He's restrained, and then you see somebody. The nurse pulls a needle out and sedates them.
Well, he's definitely insane now. I wonder.
So I didn't think this was an asylum.
His arms are flailing, and then you watch as he manages to, when he's getting injected, he smashes the nurse's face, and gets cut, and blood begins to drip. But slowly the sedation kicks in. And he calms. Nurse Dampier looks up at you and kind of apologetic. He walks in. I'm sorry for the intrusion. And she turns round.
Just an intrusion. Where did he come from?
Oh, I mean that was more than an intrusion. Oh, what happened? What happened to?
It's Gavin Langley.
He was bleeding everywhere.
Gavin Langley. He's a patient upstairs in Ward 4.
You have insane people in here?
Well, yes, Ward 4 is where we house the psychiatric patients.
But he had no things. The things, his thingies were missing. What happened to them?
He's never been violent before. Can I get you anything? A cup of tea or some chocolate or a sedative or...
Some clean sheets might be nice. A mop bucket, maybe.
I'm very sorry about what's happened.
But he had no thingies.
Don't worry, he's fine. He's sedated now. He won't be wandering the halls again.
But why did he have no?
How did he?
Testicles.
Listen, I would. I'm very sorry. This is not normal. Ward 4 should be kept secure, and in this case, it really wasn't. And I'm very. Look, are you sure I can't get you anything? Anybody, either of you, a cup of tea, perhaps?
A pot of tea would be nice.
What?
Clean sheets.
So that's your first.
Of course it is.
First that comes across.
It is for me. It's the answer to everything. Tea.
Literally, my bed is ruined. There's blood everywhere. You offer me some tea?
We'll get that cleaned up. I think at this point, Ed, you've been a cop for 30 years. You recognise when somebody is basically trying to not have this brought up to the authorities. You know when somebody is trying to placate you.
Oops. So what's the security situation up there? If he'd got out onto the street, anything could have happened. And you're saying your security just missed him?
I know. It won't happen. It won't happen again.
Well, I certainly hope it won't happen again, but if you didn't think he was violent and he got this far, what happens to the rest of the patients up there?
So what skill are you using at this point to have this discussion?
Skills.
Yeah. I think
I haven't done skills in so long.
I mean, to me, it sounds like an intimidation kind of thing, maybe.
Yeah, it could be.
I'm leaning sort of towards cop talk on the basis that I've seen things like that before. You know, I've seen people who have escaped from hospitals that were insecure and they've had to be controlled on the street by the authorities. She's clearly trying to hide something. I've been on the street for 30 years, I've seen people who are trying to hide things. I'm trying to figure out why the security she claims are up there aren't working.
Yeah. I mean, maybe law in this case might be good because you're using that same background. Cop talk be good for coming. You know,
yeah, I see your point. Law makes sense.
Could be a legal space. If you spend a point in law, yeah. Sure. Una Dampier she's young. She's easily flustered, and you get the impression that she is absolutely terrified of losing her position at the hospital. She does not want this to go higher up. She's not the kind of person that would want to take any risk to put her own career in jeopardy. Yeah, she looks at you and says, "Look, I'm really, I'm sorry. Please don't tell the head nurse. Don't tell the head nurse."
I mean, if you can assure us that this isn't going to happen again, that your security can handle it, we shouldn't need to tell anyone. But this man got in down here, he attacked this guy in his bed. You know, I've probably worsened my injury trying to fight him off. Your security should have handled all of that.
Yes, he's away now. I'll go and see to the clean sheets right away. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. A cup of tea, perhaps? Anybody?
Please.
She walks out and turns down the corridor and goes to one of the stations.
I won't say anything if you don't, nurse, says Bobby, and he was standing pushed up against the end of his bed with a desk lamp in his hand while all of this was going on, with a terrified look on his face. And he's suddenly regained this kind of bravado and has kind of scooted across to the window ledge next to where his bed is, and he's kind of sat there, he's pushed it open slightly, and he's about to light a cigarette.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she looks at you and just puts her head down and continues walking out towards the nurse's station outside. You hear her ruffling about, and there's a
I walk over to the young lad and a little bit shaken up and ask for a drag of his cigarette.
And yeah, Bobby just smiles and hands her the cigarette. Scared you pretty good there, Grandad.
You got the best.
Not talking to me, by the way.
One would hope. Who's he addressing?
You, I think. I don't know how old you are.
The old cop.
Yeah,
Or
the cop's
whoever.
the old one.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm like in my 20s, I think.
Okay. Mate.
That's more like it.
You got the best of me this time, but I didn't see you helping. It's easy to sit there and complain about it after the fact.
It looked like you had everything under control.
Yes. I'm just going to go back to my bed and sit down. I'm trying to cover up the fact that I sit down very heavily.
I take another drag of the fag, cigarette, hand it back, go back to my bed and sort of sit under it and go, this is very discombobulating. Who would have thought? I knew this hospital was old, but I didn't realise it was full of people that insane. I thought maybe a bit of melancholy and... But not quite that.
Dampier walks in quietly, and she gives you she takes the top sheet from Herman's bed, and it's on kind of on the floor anyway, and she gets you some new sheet and a new blanket on top. So she replaces, takes this away, and she says, "Very sorry." And she looks up at Ed and says, "You're quite right, sir. I'll see to it that you're not inconvenienced further. And then she just turns and walks out. Your tea, and then she says, "Your tea will be along shortly, ma'am."
Appreciated. Again, you never answered my question. He was obviously not in an operating theatre at this time of night. He had no testicles. He was grabbing it. This chap's.
It's a terrible shame, isn't it? What happens to people when we yes, their minds. You see, they're not there. They're not.
He took his own off.
They're not like us. And she just kind of looks at you and walks out with this blood on the sheets, like dripping, still a little bit pouring out on. Just walks out with the blooded sheets.
I think he was trying to get your bits.
I'd rather not think about it, but they clearly, like, I don't know, like they're avoiding talking about it, so it makes me wonder they're covering it up or something. I don't know.
You hear the clink of a teaspoon on china on china, and a cup is brought to you, Roberta, and a cup of tea. And she looks at you again. Says, I'll make sure you're not disturbed tonight. Obviously, I'll see you in the morning.
Thank you.
I mean, they said that last time.
They said that every night, and every night so far, somebody's tried to rip my testicles off.
You laugh now, but when it's your bed, that's the closest to the door.
He said they were coming for us.
He did say that.
Yeah, I didn't imagine that, did I?
He did say they were coming for us.
Well, let's just pretend you did, and then we'll move on from there.
Well, he was clearly mad.
I drink my tea, nervously looking around, and lay back down, hoping that it will all be over soon.
Finishes his cigarette, flicks the butt out of the window and shuts it, and then shivers before climbing back into bed.
Yeah. And You eventually manage to drift off.
I don't know how.
You're not well. You're
Yeah.
tired. You're recuperating.
I just have an empty bed. It took all my things.
Did you know she bought you a clean sheet?
Did she? Oh, I thought I just heard her.
Yeah, she brought you clean. No, she brought you clean
Okay.
sheets and she put them.
Alright.
I would get out of bed to help you, but I daren't.
I do that thing that like you used to do as like a kid, where you kind of like tuck in the corners so they can't pull it off the bed. Just make it extra.
And then hide
secure.
under it.
Yeah, just make it extra secure.
You slowly forget your tiredness. It takes over your aches and pains and various. You can't stay awake. You try, but you do manage to find sleep after a
You
while.
make her shut her eyes again. I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, it's a quiet night. Your sleep is fitful, but
Herman begs.
Du- during your sleep, your dreams seem to be tinged with just strange noises at the edges of your perception. Bobby, at one point, you wake up just ever slightly. You're not fully conscious, but you think you hear clang, 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 clang. And it's just like just noises of pipes.
Like somebody banging on a radiator. Or...
Yeah, or maybe it's just the heating
Water
system
gun.
or whatever it is. I don't know. In the 1930s, but
Yeah.
certainly something bang. And you pay it no heed, and you easily fall back to sleep. Ed, you at some point you wake and you think you're having a dream about a time that you spent where you were having to move heavy equipment around in one of the stations. You don't like doing that sort of thing, but lifting stuff and dragging things along the floor, it's not great. It's not something you want. You wake up hearing this and and then you fall back to sleep. Herman, you wake up and you're sort of, your nose is smell of disinfectant wafts into your nose again, but light's starting to come through the windows and fall back to sleep. Well, maybe they're cleaning something.
Pleasant.
The next morning, you're woken by Nurse Clayton. Bustles in, opens the curtains, letting the cold spring light spill into the room. You're greeted with a familiar sight. Been more snow. The grounds of the hospital even more covered. The lawns and the fields outside stretched to the pine trees and the leafless coniferous trees that stretch right down the road, as far as you can see, down into the valley, where you know that they meet another road, where you know that goes on through the countryside and meets another road, and you know then that at that point, at the farm, there's a road that takes you into the nearest village, and close to where the county hospital. There's plaster statues of saints and martyrs just staring out of the mist and the far reach of the grounds of the hospital.
daytime so we can get out of bed.
I hope they
Yeah.
have something to eat.
Yeah.
I step out of bed, wander to the window, and look
Yeah.
across. So that
Do we
the
still take
nurses on the
teleports for
ward?
getting out of bed?
Yeah, Nurse Clayton's there.
Yes. Is it possible if we could have a walk in the grounds today? Fresh snow is always beautiful.
Yeah, and she looks up and says, "Yes." Well, as long as you wrap up and go slowly. Don't keep to the paths that have been cleared. Be walking any further.
Splendid. Would I have my clothes in it, or they took for safekeeping, or there being a? Can we get dressed? I don't know. Would we be allowed to get dressed? Are we in hospital garb, or?
Yeah, you've got your robes, your hospital robes on.
And we don't
But-
have access to our clothes if we want to go outside.
Yeah, your clothes are in the lockers.
Should do that after breakfast then.
Well, stay in the
Bloody
courtyard.
cold.
Stay in the courtyard. Don't go
This
further.
is-
It's not been cleared yet.
Anything to get out of this room.
Yeah, is there still like blood splattered everywhere all over the floor?
They mopped it up, didn't
All right.
Oh, it's been.
I think they got rid of the worst of it, I think.
Yeah. No, it's all been cleaned up. But she looks at you and says, "Yes. Well, I'll carry on. Just don't please go into the snow. It's forecast for more. We've just got a brief chance of some sunlight. So get back in if it looks worse, okay?" And then she just walks out.
they? Oh, before she does, I'll just say, oh, nurse. Any news on the fella that was missing his nuts?
Yeah, she looks up at you and says, it's somebody from Ward 4. Yes. And she just walks out.
I don't like this.
Oh,
Now,
doesn't look like we're leaving anytime soon, he says, looking out of the window at the snow.
you do get health benefits from staying in your bed. So that's just something to remind you.
Oh, so the health only goes down at night, or does it go down in the day as well?
Ever you're told.
No, you can walk around. Nurses will not. They'll not help you, but they'll not really stop you. They're just there to tend to you. But yeah, you get a health point every time you get out of bed. You lose a point of health.
Only started on 5.
Just
I'm on
just
4
whenever.
already.
Yeah,
That's because
be
you're
dead by
sick.
lunchtime.
Yeah,
Oh, well, I'm going to stay in bed then.
yeah.
Yeah.
You get a point of health for staying in bed.
Yeah, that might be the option then. Just
And you
Okay,
can
I'll-
talk to each other.
Okay, I'll stay in bed. Does that take me back up to 5 then?
You
Or
hear a
just be in
bell.
bed all day?
You hear a bell ring, and breakfast served.
but I don't want to die.
Do they bring breakfast to us?
Yep.
No, you have to go
Phew.
and fetch it. Cook it yourself.
The nurses are wandering in.
Oh no.
And somebody walks over to Herman and takes a blood sample from you as you're lying
Ow.
there after your. At one point, Bobby, you're get a stethoscope and put to your chest just to make sure your eyes are tested with a finger kind of looking like this, just to check, and notes are written.
Where's his blood test?
Have you heard from me mum yet? Yes.
She'll be in to see you as soon as the weather clears.
All right. Looks a little bit downhearted. Yeah, is that?
You hear squeaking, and a gramophone is brought in with some music, and the nurse puts on some sort of music. I don't know what they have and how it works in the 30s, but I'm assuming it's something that's pretty crackly and not high fidelity.
Like an old Charleston record.
A bit of music plays. Yeah, and then the afternoon comes. This is typical hospital cycles. The other patient hasn't woken yet. She's still lying there, pretty much comatose. She's been checked and she's had drips attached to her, or again, science that's available to them. She's lying pretty much out of it. It's in the afternoon where the day kind of carries on, but the doctor walks in, Dr. Drake, and he checks on each of you as part of his rounds. And he's friendly and reassuring. He apologises again for the events of the previous night. Yeah.
Well, I'm all right, Doctor, but I think Herman over there took a bit of a fright. He did.
I can imagine. Yes, I can imagine. Not something that I would expect to happen.
Doctor?
Yes.
I had no things, male parts.
Yes, I'm afraid that the cases that we have in here somehow managed to slip his medication. I don't know what, but self-harm is a real problem.
He ripped his own balls off?
Oh, he's quite mad, I assure you, but don't worry, we have him back on his...
But if he was that mad, shouldn't he be at like a specialized facility rather than just at a hospital?
No. Ward 4. Yes, Ward 4, of course, is a specialist hospital. We're perhaps not as well made as new hospital, of course, but our years of experience here, we're quite shocked by the events, of course.
How many patients have you got up there?
Oh, just a few. We have 4 patients.
Oh.
They are trying to wind the hospital down, you understand. It's become too expensive for them. It's a shame. It's a real shame. It's quite a fine building, and I'm sure with the correct care and attention it would have been good for another few decades, but, well... That's how it goes sometimes. Now, how are you feeling? And looks at you, Roberta.
I'm fine. Any news on when I could be going home, or when you might have an answer to my problem?
Well, your blackouts and dizzy spells are still concerning, and we perhaps need to run some more blood tests. It'll be a while until the labs get us the results back, I'm afraid, so just rest up. We'll take good care of you.
So any good news you can actually tell us?
Good news? Good news. Well, let me see. And he sort of scratches his head and says, We're expecting some visitors from the county if they can get through the snow. So that'll be fine.
I'd just like to get home.
Maybe if they can get through the snow, that means we can go home.
Oh,
Before.
We have to wait for my blood results.
I'm afraid, Mr. Minnow, you're not quite ready to leave us yet. We still haven't quite found out what's up with you. You've been in hospital for 2 weeks now. You were transferred here some days ago. You'll be okay. I'm sure that it's going to be hard for you to be cut off from normal life, but don't worry. We'll get to the bottom of it.
Okay, if you say so.
I just sit back in bed and read a magazine. Or book, or whatever I've got with me.
Yeah, I'd probably be reading a book.
I think Bobby would probably be waiting till the nurses and the doctor had left before opening the window and having another cigarette. He offers them round to the other members of the ward or the other patients on the ward.
No, thank you. It's not good for my lungs. No.
What's up with you then, Herman?
No one really knows. Just several like a lot of different things, I guess. Could be autoimmune, allergies. I don't know. No one really knows. Just been ill off and on for quite a while. Just take my medicine, and then it seems to keep it under control. But don't really know.
Oh, that's very sad to hear. Very sorry.
You? Why are you here?
Bobby looks a little bit embarrassed. He kind of looks down at it for a minute.
Did they take your testicles?
Oh, I was in a car accident. He says, drawing heavily on the cigarette. He offers it round to Roberta.
I hope no one else was injured. Oh, sounds terrible.
I just banged my head, that's all. He said I got a concussion or something.
That can't be that major. Can it?
No, I think I'm all right. I'd be all right to go home personally, but I guess this weather is it's going to be a problem now. Otherwise, I suppose I'd just be on my way home, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
about you, mate?
I'm healing up.
I mean, Ed,
Once I'm done, I'll be out of here.
You a boxer or something? You got...
Detective.
it's a man of few words.
Oh, you're a copper.
See any reason to be in here, to be having conversations. The quicker we heal up, the quicker we can get out of here, and then we don't have to deal with anybody like that again.
I am rather scared that it might occur again tonight.
And they won't let him out again.
I'm hoping they've learned their lesson, and
Yeah.
I mean, there's only 4 of them, so like they can't be that hard to keep an eye on, can they?
Well, I hope not.
Security up there's terrible, so
I'm sure not all of them will be after old Herman's nuts here, though, would they, eh?
Let's hope. Hopefully, the next one doesn't like younger nuts.
Well, I'm just glad you're nearer the door.
I think I'm safe.
Oh,
Nurse Clayton comes into the ward during the afternoon. She has a wheelchair. And, Roberta,
Yes?
she asks you to... please to come and continue some of the tests. They're trying to get to the bottom of exactly why you've been so dizzy, why these blackouts have been happening. These are similar to the tests that you've already been having. You don't see. Well,
Okay, I would just get out of bed and...
Well, at least you get to go for your walk, Roberta, eh?
Right, do I lose a point of health if I get out of bed to go with him? No.
Wheelchair.
not
I
in a
started on
wheelchair.
5. I started on 5, got out of bed last night, went down to 4. Been in bed today. Do I go back up to 5 or I stay at 4?
Yeah, you're at 5. Yeah.
yeah. I'm sure that they'll wheelchair you around or something.
Yeah.
So I put my house coat on and my slippers, and I get into the wheelchair with the nurse.
You're peeled out of the ward and down the corridor to the elevator, and the elevator goes down to the ground floor and then through the corridors to the examination room that's opposite the doctor's offices in the east wing. You can hear music playing from the children's ward down the hall. And as you're left in the wheelchair in the examination room with the music playing from the children's ward down the corridor. And we'll cut back to the ward.
You bastard.
And yeah, the guys that are already talking. Ed.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? Somebody that's been shot, beaten up, stabbed. What was it that got you in hospital? What happened? Are you up for a flashback?
All right then. Patrolling the grounds of the small area around the building that I was set to guard for terrible pay, much less than it's worth, considering they've got a cop's skills behind it. Walking around, something clatters around near one of the doorways. I go over to investigate. a young man there trying to break in, and I tried to get him to stop. And in the scuffle, it turns out he has a weapon. I didn't see it coming. He obviously knew he had it. He felt that I was getting the better hand, he pulled the weapon. And now I'm here. Bullet hole in my side. And he gets away.
Sounds terrible.
And I'm sure when I get out of here, they'll let me know that I've been fired from the job.
Did they at least get him, or is that the last you ever heard about? Heard of him?
I have no idea. Nobody's told me.
Well, I'm sure they'll get you back on your feet, and then you can continue the search.
That would be appreciated.
Back in the examination room, Dr. Drake arrives, and he's a bit hunched. Dr. Drake, he kind of is a little bit hunched over Watson. You noticed this up in the room as well, but now you kind of see him walking towards you, and yeah, it's just a little bit. He's got that hunch to him, and he looks you straight in the eyes, and he explains to you that Dr. Haverley down the road, he's from the county hospital and was expected to come through, but he's behind on his rounds, and he can't make it to Our Lady's today. And yeah, he was quite looking forward to Dr. Haverley coming. He said that was earlier. You know, you remember that he said he was looking forward to people coming up, but it was a bit of a shame that hasn't. You see that in his face.
It's just you then today, Dr. Drake.
Yes. I must give you a thorough examination. It's what Dr. Haverley would want. I'll do that right away.
Fine.
And he begins to you know, he takes maybe your blood pressure, and wraps it up in his and he seems to be doing a good job. He tests your eyes. Are you saying anything to him while this is going on?
Yeah, you know. So we have no ideas why I keep blacking out.
No, I just think that, well, perhaps the stress and the strain that you've experienced is sufficient. And he says, do you feel any pain here? And he begins to he just kind of pokes his finger on your shoulders or whatever. And on this side, any pain?
No.
You just seem very, very tense. Let me. And he takes a note of that, and he says, "I'd like to test your oxygen." And he goes through different tests, and he says, "Yes," and you hear him say, "Dr. Haverley will be very impressed with this. I'm sure we've got all the results. Yes. Yeah, and he looks at you and says, "So, when you black out, what do you remember when you come back?"
Oh, nothing. It's just I just remember where I was last when I black out. Sometimes I might be in a different place, but I'm not quite sure why.
As he's asking you this question, you notice a strange thing, medallion type, hanging round his neck, and it looks quite at odds with the rest of his attire. It looks like a small brass key been twisted and broken.
The funny necklace you have on there.
Ah, yes. I picked this up at the flea market as a bit of a joke. Yes.
Very interesting. Have you worked here long?
Yes, I have.
You're the only doctor here.
No. Dr. Haverly, he will be Haverly. You'd say it. Dr. Haverly. He will be here. He does his rounds, but when we're trying to ensure the best of care for our remaining patients, see, a lot of the hospital now is fallen into disuse. We just keep the most important floors open.
Oh, I see.
We don't need so many staff anymore.
Which is probably why you had the incident last night. So is there anything else that you need from me today?
Yes. I am sorry about the incident last night.
It was very disturbing.
He'd had some complications during some surgery, and he wouldn't leave it alone, and he reopened some wounds.
Reopened them? He had no testicles.
Yes, his operation was a success, of course, but he wouldn't leave his stitches alone.
Mental health is a very strange problems with the mind is a very strange occurrence. I was very surprised that they were actually in the hospital.
Well, I think you'll find that we offer the best of care.
I just hope we don't have a repeat of it again. You won't move me up to there because I keep blacking out, would you?
And, he looks at you and says, no. I see no reason for that. He seems to, I don't know what skills you're using here. For this guy.
Well, I'm trying to work out whether they've got control of the hospital, so maybe sense trouble, because I'm worried that, I might get another thing, and I'm worried that they might send me up to Ward 4.
Well, you asked him that,
Yeah.
didn't you?
So do I assess honesty on him?
You could do that, yeah, yep.
So you just take a point down, don't when we assess honesty?
You don't have...
Don't have to spend, okay. So just assess honesty on him then.
Yeah. You noticed...
Oh yeah, if we spend a point, it's like pushing it, isn't it?
Yeah. But you noticed that when you talked about... When you started to push him about the patient, Gavin Langley, and push him about the surgery, He did become quite defensive. He did sort of change quite suddenly, actually, when you started to doubt him, when you interjected and pushed him.
So, this ward, I thought Ward 4 was there for mental and for those weak of mind. Why were you operating on him?
He looks at you. Says, the hormonal imbalance causes so many. We must ensure that he is kept on an even and stable keel at all times. And he walks. He says, "I am done with this examination now."
Right. Okay.
And he
sorry.
says, Nurse.
You understand? I'm only asking because he came in naked with no testicles,
Clayton.
bleeding all over the ward. You won't send me to Ward 4, will you?
He looks at your charts. Nurse Clayton comes in, hands him something. He looks at it and says, "Oh no, this won't do. This won't do. Your blood. No, you're anemic. This could be the reason why you're blacking out. You must have some iron."
Okay. Is that tablets?
And he goes to the side and he takes a cup, puts a pill in it and hands it to you.
I just look at it. This is an iron tablet?
Yes, go on. It'll help you. This will be the start of your recovery, I'm sure of it.
Okay, I take the tablet. Sorry if I've caused offence. I just hope that when you're asleep, naked men don't jump on your bed.
He ushers Nurse Clayton to take you back to the ward.
Nurse Clayton. Is he always like that?
He looks at you. Well, he can be difficult sometimes, but he's a very competent doctor. And
yes. Take me back to the ward. I'm tired now and I need to rest.
Wheels you back up to the ward. What's been going on? Anybody up in the ward? Well, you see your roommate be brought back into the ward. Have you been up to any? You've been lying, convalescing, have you been chatting, or
have we just been trading war stories?
For the most part, Ed is sort of half paying attention to whatever conversation's going on, but mostly just staring at the door and waiting in case anything else unusual happens. Because a naked guy came in through that door yesterday, and he doesn't want that to happen again.
I mean, that sounds a bit like paranoia. Yeah. Expecting like the multiple occurrences of a one-off event.
Paranoia's what.
Am I back on the ward yet, or?
Yeah, you're getting wheeled back, and you see a very stern-looking lady walk past you in the corridor, and Nurse Clayton kind of buries her head as, and you just hear, "Nurse, were you taking this patient?" Clayton says, "Oh, just back to Ward 3. Okay, get her back into bed. Get her rested. Can't be having them dilly-dallying and running around amok in this place. Come on, now, chop. Yes. Yes, Matron made her, yep. And yeah, and she wheels you on, and she clacks down the corridor.
We recognise I assume it's another nurse, or...
Yeah,
It's in the corridor.
Yeah, you've watched her walk past. She's, that's head nurse Anne Mather.
Either. All right, Roberta. How'd it go?
Well, said I'm low in iron and gave me a pill, and the doctor was really horrible. He was fine until I obviously said my concerns about last night's incident, and he got very nasty with me and basically shoved me out the room. So if you speak to the doctor, don't mention Guy from upstairs, because he doesn't like us talking about it.
I want to mention that to Ed over there.
But if we specifically don't mention it, then he knows we've been talking about it.
He says he's clearly mad, and it's something to do with hormones, whatever that means.
I mean, I can foresee a great hormone deficiency in his near future.
Well, apparently he's had an operation and he made it worse, so they must have taken them off.
But what? What?
Like maybe it's excessive testosterone or whatever.
Wait, what?
I think they took his things away,
And then he maybe was like scratching at the wound or something.
and then he picked the scab or the stitches.
Wait, what? They took his...
That's what they said. That's what he basically said to me, because he's hormonal, and that's why he's a bit,
What?
fragile of the mind.
I mean, that's no medical treatment. That's no medical treatment, right?
Well, I'm not a doctor. I wouldn't know, but I don't know.
It's a treatment for concussion. Wait.
You would know better.
How would doing that help a concussion?
Oh no, he's mental. There's something wrong with his head, and they say.
No, it's what he said.
Oh, I don't think he knows that, but I don't know.
He knows how the brain and the body works. Like, we're finding out new things all the time. We just something.
No, but the worry is, I'm here because I keep blacking out, and I have these problems where I black out, and I go dizzy, and I pass out, and he's got concussion. And are they not problems with their head?
No, I've got concussion.
No, he didn't have concussion. Actually, I don't know why he's here, but whatever reason he's here, they think it's because of his hormones, and so they took his man bits away.
No. That's not a medical. That's not a medical treatment. He's looking at Herman and Ed, a little bit worried. That ain't no medical treatment, is it?
Herman,
Yes,
as you're talking, the nurse comes back, and I assume a bit of time's passed as you're talking. Nurse Clayton comes back with the wheelchair, and she says, "Time for your examination."
Okay. Hopefully they can find it soon. Whatever it is. Let's get cracking.
Don't. If it's the doctor, don't mention upstairs. Actually,
Don't mention downstairs either.
No, this is a very confusing place.
She she wheels you to one of the examination rooms again down the lift, and this time you pass the hospital morgue.
Yeah. Is there strange music?
I hope not.
And the night porter walks out from the morgue just as you're going past, and you look in and you see a body on one of the trolleys.
Oh no.
There's something about it. It looks
Familiar.
kind of familiar. Yeah. The porter looks at you, and he walks up to you in the wheelchair with getting pushed, and he sniffs you,
It's my new perfume.
and then
Perfectly normal behaviour.
walks out. A light outside the children's ward
I was sniffing back,
lights up.
but I'm at the wrong height.
lights up, and Nurse Clayton she said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I just have to attend to the children." And she walks down the corridor at a rapid pace.
It's Karen.
I think we've lost them two for some reason.
We could have lost Josh too.
I missed it. I don't know what they're laughing at.
Nurse Clayton apologises and leaves you, kind of wheels you over to one side. She rushes off, and she hears a scream from the not it's like children noise, and she sort of hurries her pace and walks more quickly.
Yeah.
I'll be back in a
Children's
minute.
screams is children's
Shouts.
screams are definitely less worrisome than creepy children music. So am I just down the corridor from the morgue?
Yeah, you're outside. You're pretty much outside it.
Oh, that's convenient. Curiosity abounds, I guess. Can I stand up without taking damage? So
Yeah,
I have a
you
quick
can-
peek through quick peek. Put my head through the door. Just
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah,
to
that's
see what
okay.
was so familiar.
You can
I
wheel
know it's
yourself
gonna-
over.
I could see
Wheel
it
yourself
coming.
over.
But,
Yeah.
I could see it coming, so it might as well. For the cause, let's have a peek. Like just push the door open slightly and then peek, and then see if I can see what I can see, and then and also be quick about it so I don't have to like awkwardly shuffle away from the door.
Yeah. You've picked up a fair amount of science in your time reading books while you've been
Yeah.
convalescing and getting well.
I can do
Trying to
biology.
get better.
Let's have a look. Biology, chemistry, physics. Yeah.
Do you kind of heal yourself in, or do you get up and walk? You won't take any damage from a short...
I'll try the short walk because I think trying to do anything in a wheelchair is going to be like impractical. But
Yeah,
it'd also
so
be
you-
a bit quicker if I could just peek.
Yeah, you get up, and the sheet is lying across a body on the table, clearly.
Can I just pull it down over the head? Because I kind of know who. I have a feeling I know who it's going to be. Like the feet
Yeah.
are very familiar.
Yeah. Gavin Langley.
You did get quite close. Oh no, it's
Might be more familiar if you lifted up the other side.
Well, I think that's the thing. The thing that I kind of recognize is the feet. So it's like I just had to make sure that the the head matched the tail. Okay, so he's dead. Well, we kind of know his situation from like the waist down. Can I just see just peel it back a bit further to see if has he been whatever post-mortemed?
Yeah, it sounds
Like not all the way off, but just to see his chest or whatever. I don't know.
it sounds a bit like you're using a fair amount of your expertise here.
Yeah, the biologie.
Yeah,
Probably the
but
closest thing.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, first aid. I could do first aid, but I think it's probably past that point.
I think he's a bit beyond that. So let's say you put your skills of anatomy to good use. But as you're giving him the over, you look around to the side of his neck, and you see that his throat's been cut.
Oh shit!
As you pull back this thing.
Okay. I'm going like at that.
With your kind of sciencey background, and the point spend, you get to see that it was clearly done with something very sharp, something very easy to cut through. And the other thing that gets you about it is that it looked like an execution, not the result of a struggle.
Yeah. Okay. Like, I think whenever I see this, I'm just gonna like cover it back up, and then I'm gonna get out of dodge. Because like the thing is, if someone's like killed this guy, like I don't want to be caught like mid-examination. So I'm going to just like put the sheet back over, and then like quickly hustle back to the wheelchair.
And before you do that, though, his hand falls out as you're moving. Now you're searching his body. His hand falls out down the side of the bed and brushes against you.
Sanity roll.
I mean,
is it going for his testicles again?
Damn, it's not Cthulhu.
Maybe
it's not Cthulhu, dog. Damn it, we can't make you do a sanity roll.
I must have just dislodged it while I was examining him.
Yeah, and
can I see? Is his hand like, I don't know? Is there anything special about his hand, or is it just it flopped out?
There are needle marks on his arm.
Oh god. I need a bigger notepad. Okay, I need to get out of there.
You remember something? One of
needles.
Yeah.
He kept mentioning the needles, the eye, hands. Yes.
Yeah, sharp fingers, these kind of things. Yeah, he was just muttering on about this kind of stuff. Yep.
I'm going to. I need to get out of here. Also, I don't want to be caught here because I don't know. Do you want me to make a stability or anything for this situation? Because like he would be a bit panicky right now.
Yeah, go for it if you think it's required.
Is there a target number for stability or just roll it?
Is it one of those things that he doesn't have to tell you?
Yeah.
Who you roll?
I don't know. I'll put a point in. Oh no, that's not what I'm doing. Wrong one. So we go stability, spend 1, hope for the best. 4. You could, because he's gonna be probably panicking at this point, trying to like.
You are able to. I mean, you are able to keep it together. Yeah, you are shaken, concerned.
Like probably like doubling his efforts to try and get back to that wheelchair, just so he can try and like calm himself down before like the examination.
But you are and now there's a rule, isn't there, about using points and stability.
Oh, is there? Okay.
You can spend the point, but if you fail the roll, you lose that point that you spent and any other stability that you would have lost anyway.
Yeah.
That's the risk you take.
So you don't lose that point, then I guess is what we're saying. Or you lose it anyway.
He'll lose 1 point, for spending, because he spent it. But
so
just drop the number, man.
You managed to calm yourself. You managed to calm yourself sufficiently.
Yeah.
maybe you write it off as just a bad memory, or maybe you relate it to a story that you've read, or somehow.
Yeah.
You seem to be keeping it together.
Just to get out of here
Yeah.
before that creepy sniffy guy comes back. I mean, you think he'll do more than try and just, like, I don't know, slit my throat. And hopefully I can, get back to do this exam. Hopefully not get too distracted. And then, I need to... I think the other people will probably want to hear this.
That's right. So you go through... you go through the examination. It's actually just the nurse who's examining you, and she goes through the motives and the usual.
Yeah.
Does the whole things, and just much like you've been used to for the past few days.
Is this Clayton?
Nurse Clayton, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Just go through the motions. Like, I mean, we already had, like, the heads up not to talk about the guy, so I'm not going to.
Yeah. She
I
seems
also don't want to give the game away.
Nurse Clayton seems fairly competent, I guess.
Yeah.
She does it fairly quickly, and she doesn't really talk to you very much.
Yeah. Have you been working here long, nurse?
And she says, I was a student studying medicine. I had hoped that perhaps I could be more than a nurse, but this is where I'm at, so this is what I'll do.
You seem to do a pretty good job of it. I've had my experience of nurses.
Thank you.
It's any consolation.
Well, perhaps my training, I picked something up after all. Yeah, and she kind of, she looks a little bit frustrated, I guess, when she's doing that, and she carries on anyway, and continues and finishes everything that she needs to do, and says, "Well, that's everything. Let's go." And she gets you back into the wheelchair.
Yeah, there's something on your mind.
Well, perhaps. Are you using a skill at this point to try and eke it out of her? She's been pretty standoffish so far.
Yeah, I try to. What have we got? I think I just put the excess points in hypnosis. That would have been hilarious. Where are the social skills on this? Interpersonal.
Flattery, reassurance.
Okay, the interpersonal skills are not going to help me. Psychoanalysis? Sense trouble?
We've got no interpersonal skills.
No, I have assessed honesty. I could do that. Can I assess her honesty?
That's only if she bothers to talk to you, though, isn't it? I suppose.
Yeah, I don't think she's. Yeah, like I know she's not telling me. So like, but yeah, I have assess honesty, bureaucracy, oral history, and impersonate. Like I don't have anything actually sociable, so it's fine.
She looks at you, and you hear a phone ring as you're brought up the lift and into the thing. You hear the phone ring, and she sighs when the phone rings. She says, "Hi." And you're within sight of the ward.
Yeah. Well, if you need to get going, I can take myself the rest of the way. If that helps you out at all, nurse.
Yes. Thank you. You're just down there and on the third on the right.
I can see it.
Yeah, she seems frustrated about that interruption.
Yeah.
And you notice that. Maybe the next time you speak to her, you could use oral history.
Yeah. Because I know, yeah, she was frustrated about me interrupting the procedure as well by talking to her. So
Yeah.
it's got a chain of things.
Okay. And the day turns into evening.
Yeah.
As you wheel yourself back in.
As he was, yeah. I can't see him. Oh, hello, and how much blood did it take out of you? You look pale as a ghost.
It was well, they only did a checkup, really. I saw our friend from the night before. He's not doing too good.
Well, he get out again, did he? Looks up nervously at the door.
I'm not sure he made it back.
Hey?
I saw him in the morgue. He was like, someone killed him.
Sorry. What, the
He
guy?
did just say that, didn't he?
Huh?
The
Yeah.
guy that jumped around on your bed last night.
Yeah. Yes. They
He's
left.
dead.
There was some interruption in like the children's ward, and they left my wheelchair like parked up at the morgue, and I could just see through the door that I could see him, and then I went to have a look closer, and like someone had cut his throat. There's like needle marks in his arms, like I don't know, maybe there someone was, I don't know.
Wait.
Right?
The doctor said. Did the doctor tell me he was fine?
What?
I think they might have lied to you.
Do you think he killed himself? I mean, he was pretty crazy.
Yeah, but I think if he was capable of killing himself, I don't know if he would have gone all the way to our room. I don't know.
They said he was sedated and he was fine.
It didn't look like it, like he'd done it himself. I think
You're a copper, can't you go and arrest somebody or something?
I mean, who am I supposed to arrest? It's definitely worth.
Well, you're a detective or
I
something.
think we need to. I don't know. Something's very wrong. I don't know how we're gonna find out what, but I think if we just if they know we know, I think that makes it worse. For us.
Let's just leave. I mean, I have these blacking out spells, but they're not. It's not life threatening. Let's leave. Shall we leave? Let's leave.
Can we? It's, with the snow, it may already be too late. Too late.
I'm sure we can leave. The door's there.
I look out the window at the snow. Is it deep and impassable, really?
It started snowing again. Yep.
Yeah, supposed to be a blizzard coming, right?
Yeah.
It's light at the moment.
I mean, we're like miles from town anyway, right?
Yeah, and then if we get caught out in the snow, we'll freeze.
On top of that, if he
Maybe he went to the ward and he was attacked by another one of the mental patients.
I mean, it is possible. Just it looked like he was executed. Like I don't know. Like there wasn't a struggle. It was just a cut.
somebody killed him for leaving the ward, though, maybe us trying to leave our ward wouldn't be the best.
Maybe he caused too
Well, they
much trouble.
sedated him. They
Maybe he caused too much trouble. I don't know.
Well, maybe, Mr. Hayward, this is your thing. Can't you go and ask some questions or something and find out what?
I'd ask who. I don't want to end up in the morgue.
No, Mr. Hayward here. He's a detective. He should be.
And he probably doesn't want to either.
Some of the nurses, but it might lead to more trouble. I'm gonna start getting off my.
Well, don't ask the doctor, because he he really didn't want to talk. I mean, he didn't tell me he died. He made out that he was okay, just sedated.
I suppose it's kind of a sedation.
Dark.
Yeah. You're gonna go ask some questions, yeah?
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it.
He's a policeman. He'll be all right.
So
You have to ask
He's also not like at his peak. So if anyone tries to hurt him, like he may not be so fortunate.
at this point, you've had a full day's rest. You've not done a huge amount other than be wheeled about, get up to go to the loo or any of those kind of things. You all regain 4 health points.
Yes.
Oh,
Now,
Oh,
if you have a full night or day of complete rest, you will regain 4 health per day or night of complete rest. You will regain 2 health if you are mildly active during the day or the night. But please note the cap of your maximum.
Yeah.
or is that what we started on?
no, the cap is the number to
Out
the
of
right.
8 or yeah.
Yeah.
Look at your health box on the left. The grey squares are the ones you can't go into. It's a nice visual way of looking at it.
I started on 5, so I'm on 4 then.
And
You
get
started on
four.
5, and you've just got a 4 back, so it'll be 9 then, would it? 8.
Yes, I said, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I went up
Whatever.
to 5.
You went.
You started at 5, then you lost 1, which took you down to 4, and you've just got 4 back. So you're on 8, or whatever your maximum is.
No, I got 1 back before and I was back at 5.
Okay, well, you're 9 then.
Are you smart breaking up then?
A little bit.
So
But yeah.
yeah.
I'm sure it's our internet.
So everybody except for Ed, would have got a point back for the night, for being relatively
Okay.
mild. You were awake, but you were not exactly exerting. Apart from Ed, who lost points because
Yeah.
he was a
Scrapping.
yeah. So if you haven't already done so from last night, you can add another point as well, except for Ed. That I think is a good point to take a break as we go
Okay.
into the evening meal. We'll find out what goes on.
Who's on the menu?
Well, still better.
Who?
Still food.
Oh, where did these pork balls come from?
So we'll be back. We'll be back in 10 minutes, guys. It's just on 1:45,
Aye.
so we'll be back just before 5 minutes before the next hour.
Yeah.
Hey, knees.
There we go. We're back. We're back.
Hey, hey, hey.
Back in the hospital. It's snowing outside. You've had your evening meal. Is there anything that you want to do while the evening is still fresh?
No, I'm a little bit discombobulated and I wanted to leave the hospital, but we can't because of the snow. There's a dead man who's had his throat cut in the mortuary who tried to rip off Herman's testicles last night while his own testicles were dripping with blood. Well, minus the testicles. Doctor's grumpy.
At some point during the evening, either while they're serving the meal or I'll just run out and grab one of the nurses. I just want to talk to one of the nurses.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to ask them if they can tell me anything about the status of the man who attacked us.
Stitches get stitches.
Yeah, as you get out of bed and you walk out and look around, you see the imposing figure of head nurse Anne Mather. And she looks at you. Says, "What are you doing out of bed?"
I'm looking for someone to answer some questions.
Now, come on. We can talk. Get back. You're supposed to be healing. You're supposed to be getting better. Come on, get back into your bed.
Well, once you've answered my questions, I can get back into my bed.
Now, I'll be having none of that from you, my friend. Now, come on. What is bothering you other than that you can't talk about when you're in and comfortable and resting, which is exactly where you are supposed to be?
I want to know what happened with the man who attacked us yesterday. I don't want to ask it in the ward, where all those people are scared of the man who attacked us yesterday. I want to know what's going on with the security on Ward 4. That man got out of there, he was clearly violent, and as far as I'm aware, there's nothing changed since then. There's no lock on our door. Somebody else could break in at any time.
Now, the doctors have this place well under control. There is no reason to be concerned.
Can I assess honesty of that?
Yeah. You get the sense from her that she absolutely means that. She believes that the doctors are not to be questioned. Are you?
That's not the same thing as believing they're in control, but
Yeah, no, she doesn't. She believes that they are in control, absolutely. But yeah, you can interpret that as you will. But she believes that firmly.
look, just tell me what security measures are in place up there. Locks, guards. 2 doctors can't control 4 violent patients. It takes 2 doctors to control 1 violent patient most of the time.
Okay, so you're trying to persuade or something. What skill are you using to get her to come round to your way of thinking?
I suppose I'm just, from the tone and the form of questioning, I'm sort of aiming at interrogation, but interrogation's normally more a structured interview setting, so...
I mean, you've got law, you could...
Yeah, I suppose outside of interrogation it's leaning towards law.
Because you're kind of worried about what's happening to you guys, and you're worried about what's going to be happening to anybody else in the hospital.
Yeah.
Okay, if you... Yeah, would you be willing to spend a point a lot on this?
Sure. That's never gonna come up again. Yeah. I'll spend a point of law.
She looks somewhat surprised that somebody would stand up to her. She's clearly not used to that. She's obviously not used to having somebody tell her that dark is white and yellow is blue, and just persuade her whole world is upside down. Yeah. She looks at you and says, "Well, what proof do you have?"
There's still some blood on the floor from where he came in here. Whatever's happening up there, it clearly wasn't under control, despite what your doctors are saying. If there's some security up there or some locks up there, they need to be checked. If there isn't, there needs to be something in place. Because if you can have violent people like that running around attacking other patients, how is anybody supposed to heal in this hospital?
Blood on the floor, it's a hospital. This is what we have. I'll make sure that it's cleaned up properly. Now, do you have some proof? Somebody running out of hospital beds, I'm afraid to say that that's clearly not ideal. I can understand that that must cause you some distress. But this is not something that happens, and the doctors do have it under control. However, I appreciate what you are saying regarding your ability to get better, and that is important. If you think that there's something wrong in the hospital, I will take it up with Dr. Drake.
Excellent. And once you've done so, will you come back here and tell us what security measures are in place? Because I'm sure it will make everybody in that ward feel a lot better if they know there isn't going to be anybody barging in the night to attack us again.
She marches off. Of course, as she stomps down, clack, 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 down the tiled corridors.
I slowly walk back into the ward. Every so often just stopping for a second and holding onto my side. And once I'm back in there, I'll just sit down on my bed.
Did you find out what's going on, Mr. Hayward?
I spoke to the head nurse. She doesn't seem to know anything. She thinks the doctors are in control, but I've convinced her to at least go up there and have a look at what security measures are in place and come back to us and let us know. But from the sounds of it, she thinks the doctors control everything. She seemed to suggest there wasn't any security in place, despite the obviously violent patients up there.
Well, that doesn't sound very good, does it?
Well, probably not. It may be best if we find a way to lock this door, in case of anything else, but the nurse who comes in at night would probably have an issue with it.
When the nurses do rounds in the evening, who will lock the door, they won't be able to get in.
Don't really want the door unlocking.
Unlocking? Or
I
locking?
want to keep it locked. Maybe we just say to them to lock it.
If you're going
Is there only one way in out the ward?
Locked all night.
Yeah, there's only the big doors.
Is there a lock on the doors, bolts on the doors, or would we have to block it with something?
I was not a patient in a hospital in the 1930s.
Most
But I was in the 70s. And I seem to recall they had like swing doors on the wards.
That's kind of what I'm thinking as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the swing doors typically have small bolts at top and bottom to secure them if they need to be secured. They just very
Not in the
rarely
70s, they didn't.
Yeah, I'm going to say that I'm going with that as well, because my kind of imagination has taken me to a place where these doors just get battered open by passing trolleys and
being pushed
through, and just that's kind of what I'm seeing in my mind's eye when I'm thinking about
That's
that. So,
fair. Are there any empty trolleys or empty beds around, or stuff we could wheel in front of the doors, as it were, to slow down?
yeah, unfortunately, things with
Always
wheels on
make
them
a
aren't
noise.
usually very good at stopping things from moving, and I guess.
I'm thinking more something that makes a noise if somebody tries to force their way in.
Oh, okay.
So any sort of trolleys, empty beds, tables, just something we can put against the door that if somebody does try to force their way in, it slows them down.
clatter.
It makes a noise, and if somebody's trying to come in and nick Herman's knackers again, we'll know about it.
There's well, they weren't very good at the whole cleanliness thing. There's not very much there, but there's probably like a side table or something like that, or perhaps there's a big trolley that you put your dinner on or something like that. I don't know what they have back there, but there's something. A table with a vase on it with some flowers, perhaps. Let's see.
Whatever I can find, I just sort of shove in front of the doors.
Yeah.
Well,
So you pick up the.
If
you
we
pick
know
up-
when the last evening rounds are, I'll wait until obviously the nurses have finished their evening rounds and it's lights out, as it were, for the night, and then shove whatever I need to in front of the door.
Yeah. So unless anybody else wants to do anything, are you going to stay? Are you going to stay in bed? Are you? What's your thoughts?
I mean, if there is a last rounds, we could try and see if we can figure out what's going on.
Maybe we could go and see that body and have a look for ourselves.
Yeah, if it's still there.
Might be an idea. It seems like the nurses here don't know what's going on, and if the doctors are assuming they're in control of it, maybe we can at least find out what security measures are in place at night and take a look at the body.
You might be able to do some of your if you have any, like, perhaps some forensic ability. Might be able to help pick up on things that perhaps I missed.
It's not really in my training, but I can take a look at the body. I've seen enough.
Maybe we could, when it's quiet, go down to the reception. We're allowed out of our rooms. We're prisoners. Maybe you could phone for some assistance from your police friends. Maybe they could come and examine the body.
Perhaps, but if we start making this a big incident, it then becomes a much larger conversation, and
Well, I don't really care, as long as we've got somebody coming and we can get out. I mean, they won't be able to come through this.
Well, maybe Herman was mistaken. Maybe. Well, I mean, I'm sure you're not a doctor, right, Herman? You wouldn't
but
necessarily know, right?
I've been around a lot of them, and I've read a lot. Like, I've had a lot of time to read up on things. So I know some stuff. But I'm not like.
Okay. Let's have our evening meal. Wait for the nurse to go, and we'll go down and have a look. And if we feel that there's something bad has happened here, we'll go and report it to Ed's colleagues. Deal?
Okay.
sounds like a plan.
Okay. We'll wait till evening meal and last rounds, and then we'll just wander out. They don't stop us from leaving.
No,
We'll
they don't
just
stop
say-
you from using the phones either.
We'll just say we're taking a wander. They're not going to follow us, so we can go and look at that body. It's quite simple. Quick.
If only we had a camera to help us get, like, evidence.
So we'll wait then until it's clear to hopefully go and get around.
Herman,
Yes.
as you walk out, you hear the phone ring, and you hear the nurse's voice. You recognise, and she's like, "Just please, I'm busy. Don't call me. You know this is just too much." And the phone gets put down.
When was
Nurse
that?
Mathers that was
Was
the phone.
was that Clayton after?
Clayton, yeah, the one
Yeah.
that was. And she walks by the door as you're. Are you getting up? What are you doing? You going for a wander after your meal? Let's say.
Yeah, so have we done last
Yeah,
rounds
after
and we've had our meal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to go wandering around.
It sounds like at
Hospital at
least that
night.
maybe she isn't completely on board. Like, there's something clearly, like, bothering her about the situation.
So where do you
Oh,
go?
and then...
Where do you walk? It's not nighttime yet. It's still early.
Well, following Herman because we're going to sort of casually
We can
walk
just
to the morgue.
retrace my steps. Yeah.
Or your wheels.
Or do we all lose a point of health?
Wheelchair squad, roll out.
You won't, but you won't gain as much.
Right.
Okay.
Because you've used up some of what you've
So
got.
we just take a
That's like
casual walk down
It's
to
a
the
casual
hospital.
walk. Yeah, you're not stressing
Morgue.
yourself. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
try
to
not
the
to
morgue.
get too injured before you get back to your bed.
I'll grab my coat and toss it on over my hospital gown and then follow the
Look
others
official.
to the morgue.
I have a feeling I know what we're going to find. But let's
Nothing,
look.
probably. It's probably moved it. You think it was definitely
I mean, I
Gavin,
saw it,
that
like,
that chap from last night?
Yeah, Gavin Langley. Like, he was right in front of me.
Well, there's a
Very
couple of ways of identifying him, Roberta. Or rather, there were a couple of ways.
Unless he had a very unfortunate twin.
So you find your
I suppose
way.
that
You find your way along this lift. To the left, the corridors are long and fairly featureless. There's some light there, and they're tiled up the sides, and there's the tiles on the. I don't know. The floor's just probably solid and unpleasant on your feet. And you find your way to the lift. You use the lift to go down to the ground floor, and you follow the basic route that you took. You find your way. It's easy enough. It's a hospital with a large central body with wings coming out either side, and you know that you went one direction from the front door. And you make your way down the corridor that has the children's ward, and you find the morgue doors.
I look around to check there's nobody about. A quick nose about, which I have no skills for, to be fair. Yeah, have a look around. Is anybody about? Is it clear? Do we go in?
Yeah. You have a look around. There doesn't seem to be anybody there. There's a bit of noise coming from the ward at the bottom, but that's the children's ward. You'd expect there to be noise.
Come on, we need to be quick, and I dart inside.
Oh.
Could just phone for a taxi.
And there is
Open the door and go, thanks, don't leave me in here on my own.
just
I'm so brave.
as the body was left, the
Yeah.
arm draping out the side. Did you put the sheet back over?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not
Ed,
been moved.
you lift the sheet.
Okay.
Ed, you lift the
I'll just-
sheet.
I'll just peel back the head again, just so they can tell that it's him.
Yeah.
See, I told you, like, it
It's definitely him. Oh my god, that's terrible. That's awful.
it's like someone. It's like he's like someone's been testing on him, maybe, because there were needles on his arm, and his neck was cut.
Oh man.
What do you think,
Hi.
Mr. Hayward?
I move over towards the body and start taking a look at it. If I look at the marks on his arm, the needle marks on his arm, do they look like he would have done them himself? Like a drug injection
addict
they
or
would have done
something.
himself?
Did we have
Yeah.
drug addicts like that in the 30s?
Yeah. Oh,
As-
yes.
As you walk up towards the body, your eyes, Ed, are drawn to the back of the morgue. Some shelves, and you see a camera on the back of the shelves.
Like a regular film camera.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just scoodle over. That's because that'll help us get evidence. We can maybe see if see if we can store the film, maybe hide it, and then there'll be evidence of whatever.
sounds like a good idea. Grab the camera. I'll take a look at the body.
Okay,
Yeah. So
I'll go grab the camera while he does his bit.
Ed,
I go and just quickly listen at the door, check there's no one around.
you've seen bodies before or after they've been hurt or in a fight or destroyed by an oncoming vehicle or fallen on front of a train. And these are the sort of things that you've seen. You haven't seen anything like this. This isn't the way that things go. You pick up the arm and you see you look closely at these needle marks, and as you're looking at them, they look like there's 4 marks on each arm, like in a semicircle, as if fingernails have grabbed the arm.
I sort of put my hand up against the marks, move my hand so the fingers would match the marks, and sort of try and judge how big the hand would have to be to make those marks.
Reasonably big. Yeah. A good size. You've got pretty big hands. So, yeah, your hands match at a reasonable level. You think that they couldn't... That sort of semicircle.
Maybe you made them when you grabbed him last night.
Did they match his
I think
hands?
his arm.
Well, he's dead. So he was either killed or murdered in the hospital or by a fellow inmate. There's a few options there.
Inmate. That's
I mean, and unlikely
interesting
that
wording.
the wound is very clean, like the neck, something very sharp.
Yeah, I'll move on to the neck wound and start taking a close look at that.
I think it's like a knife or like a scalpel.
What skill are you using to look at that particularly?
I'm almost thinking weapons, but it's not investigative skill. But I'm trying to figure out what did it, so... I don't really have much of a matching...
What was that you were
investigative
going to be using, sorry? Weapons.
skill. I was
Can use
thinking-
general skills as investigative skills. And do that.
In that case, yeah.
Well, given your knowledge, like, that you've seen these kind of things before, that does make sense. You're able to agree. You agree with Herman. You agree that it was something very sharp. It's an exceptionally clean cut. Gaping open and the flesh just soft around the neck. Yeah. It's dried up a bit. It's been cleaned up. Otherwise...
Can I just do a sort of cursory investigation of the rest of the body? Moving the sheet fully off the body and just look for any other injuries that I wasn't aware of.
Other than his scrotum.
Which I was aware of.
Could I get like try to take a photograph of like the wrists and the neck?
Yep.
Just like documenting it as he goes through.
There are already some frames off what you assume to be... I'm not quite sure how these cameras work in the 1930s, but I don't know how
They'll be
cameras
like
work.
big box cameras.
Big
won't
box cameras with
Yeah.
slates, yeah. So there's some slates with envelopes. There's some envelopes or something, dark envelopes on the shelf next to it. So some photos have been taken, and you take a shot of this body, and you go to remove the slate and seal it into the bag or however it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you take another, and you put another film in the back. You slide it in and pull back the necessaries in the way. Yeah, so you're looking at this body, but nothing else between the two of you looking at this doesn't really have any further information that you're looking at. It's just been a brutal, hideous murder. Yeah.
At least we can agree on foul play.
Definitely. I think
Murder.
we have to agree with Roberta. We should summon the relevant authorities and have them take over this before we contaminate it.
We get to the phone then.
Yeah, let's get out of here. Because cover it all up so they don't know we've seen it. And then, we need to call for help.
Right.
Maybe they have already called them. Maybe we just don't know.
Well, they can tell us if they've already had a report.
Okay. Let's go down towards the reception. It's near the children's ward because I was there today.
Yeah, so the children's ward's further down the same corridor that this morgue is on. And you can go there, yeah, or you can walk to reception.
We'll go down. As we go by, can we see in the children's ward?
Mm-hmm.
Does it look how many children are in there?
Yeah, there's quite a few kids in there. There's probably about half a dozen.
All right. Okay. No, I'm not going to steal any. Thank God that I know it sounds awful that it happened to you last night, Herman, but thank God that man came into our ward. Could you imagine what would happen if he'd got into the children's ward?
But maybe they take better care of that ward to sort of ward him off.
God, it just doesn't bear thinking about. Let's go make this phone call. Let's get some authorities up here. I'll be glad to be out of this place. I'll take my treatment elsewhere, I think.
Well, the weather looks pretty bad earlier. I don't know. Maybe the police won't be able to get through.
Well, at least we're giving them heads up to head this way.
Yeah, they can come here as fast as they can.
Head through to the reception. Keep going.
Yeah, as you walk up to reception, you hear a slight whimpering noise coming from some of the cupboards, quite close by the children's ward.
I'll just go over and open them.
When you say whimpering,
Crying.
Sobbing,
like
crying.
a child.
Oh, yeah.
Like an
Or
adult.
Well, I'll go and open it. Or I'll knock on the outside and then open it. Hello?
What if it's a murderer?
And
It could be a sniffer.
inside, you see, as you open it, you see a small girl, and she's hiding in the closet among blankets, hiding in the bottom. She's kind of made a bit of a nest, but she seems to
I
be.
bend down and say, "Hello, sweetie. Why are you in here?"
She's talking.
Come on, let's take you back. And I try and guide her out to take her back to the children's ward.
She refuses to be moved.
Okay, guys, gentlemen, if you go make the phone call, I'm gonna quickly nip to the children's ward and let them know there's a young girl that's out here, and I'll just wander back to the children's ward to go in and find the nurse.
Okay. Well, as you do
Traitor.
that, there is no nurse in the children's ward.
What?
All the children are in their bed. some-
Is there any older children there? I do a quick scan round to see if there's any older children.
Yeah, you walk in, but they just stare at you. And they suddenly, they're quiet suddenly when you walk in.
Is there a nurse here?
They just stare at you.
Are you glad you weren't there on your own now?
It's fine. Put some nice music on.
Are you here alone? There's no adult looking after you. I've just found another little girl out in the corridor. Is she from this ward?
Nothing.
I think there's something wrong with them.
There's a box of toys in the middle of the room on a rug of sorts. Colourful. The only bit of colour in the whole room. Red and blue, green.
I walk up and pick one of the toys up and take it over to a child. Not a really young child, one that's a little bit older that might be able to talk.
The first doll that you pick up, there's a hole drilled in its head.
What Jesus? Oh, shocking. Put that one down and grab another toy.
Got 6 arms.
What?
Somebody's taken the arms off of other toys and taped them onto the actual arm.
Okay, I pushed that away. Is there any books around?
No books.
I look closely at the children. Do they? How many arms have they got?
Yeah, they all just look. They just look that they don't want to talk to you. They just don't look like you've interrupted whatever they were up to.
Walk away.
And I say, where's the nurse? Okay, so I back out the ward.
As you back out, your heel kicks one of the toys on the floor, and it makes a rattling noise as it skites across towards the door.
What do the kids do?
Just watching you.
Go out the door.
The toy gets whipped by the door and skites across to right across the corridor to where the child in the cupboard is. And you see a hand reach down and pick up the doll.
I go back to the child and say, I'm not going to hurt you. You okay?
That sounds like you're using a skill.
Oh, pfft. Reassurance, and I'm going to push it. Well, use a skill point.
Okay.
Take it down to 3. I bend down and I say, I don't know what's frightened you, but I'm frightened too. This hospital's scary, and I've just tried to talk to the children and they're not speaking to me. I'm not going to hurt you. Why are you hiding?
She's holding the doll, and she looks at you and she says, "My name's Beth."
Hello, Beth. My name is Roberta. Are you hiding? Why aren't you in bed?
Oh. I don't like it in there.
Oh, I understand that. None of the children would speak to me.
As she moves her hand away to hold the doll a bit closer, you see that she's got a large cut on her leg.
Look at your leg. Has nobody bandaged that?
It's nearly better now.
See. Do you not want to go back to the ward?
No. I don't like the nurses.
Why? Nurses are here to look after you.
Their fingernails are really sharp.
But what do they do with
I tried to run away.
fingernails?
Tried all the doors. All the doors were gone.
Gone? Locked, you mean?
Gone. Doors. Front door was there, but it was locked. Couldn't get out.
With me. And
This thing started chasing me.
what the nurses did.
It was all arms. It caught me. It said it was going to eat me. Dr. Drake found me and he brought me back to bed and said it was all a dream, but not sure. And I don't think it was a dream. Was it? And she clutches the doll really tight. And as she does that, she bruises on her upper arm.
Are they similar bruises to what we just saw on Gavin's body?
Are you using a skill?
I have first aid for. I don't have any medicine.
Yeah, or scuffling or anything like that. You can, yeah.
I've got scuffling and I've got,
You don't use a point.
yeah, and I've got first aid at 4 as well. So
yeah, I mean, so using that kind of thing, you realise that it looks like she's been grabbed and shaken by a strong adult.
you can come back and sleep in our ward if you want. The nurses have gone for their last rounds.
Don't like the night nurses. Can't it stay here? I won't be any trouble.
If I say try and make her come with me, you're going to say I'm kidnapping another child. Stay here for a few minutes, but just going to make a phone call, and then we'll come back. And then if you want, you can come onto our ward, and we'll look after you. Like I say, you're going to be safe. You're going to be safe. And I stroke her hair. And calm her down. And I say, look, I'll leave it.
Hugs the doll.
Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes. And I shut the door and I go, I'll shut the door so nobody knows you're here. I'm not going to tell anybody that you're here. I promise. Shut the door. And I catch the others up. Oh no, they're still there. And I'll go, get strange up.
I think you guys walked down to reception, didn't you?
Yeah. Is it far away?
To find a phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Please
can
don't
find
say
it.
it was far.
It's at the end of the corridor. It's quite a long corridor, but yeah, you're kind of at the end of it where the children's ward is. Yeah, at the reception, you find that there's nobody there, but you see a phone on the desk.
I'll pick it up and try to phone the local precinct.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The phone connects to the operator.
Local police station, please.
And you're put through.
And I'll explain. We've got a body at Our Lady Hospital. Dead body looks like it's been murdered. I don't know if it's been reported. I'm ex-police officer, Detective Ed Hayward. I've investigated the body myself and confirmed that it's definitely a murder. Somebody needs to come and check it out.
We have
Right.
photos.
Oh, yes, of course. I'll arrange a dispatch. What skill are you using? Cop talk here, right? Surely.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you will spend a point in cop talk at this point, then you will be taken seriously, and they will.
What a surprise!
Yeah, they will assume that you know what you're talking about, and of course we'll arrange something. Might not be until the morning though. Can't get out. See, the snow is bad down here in the town. We've not been able to shift it. All the vehicles are pretty much iced up.
Alright. There's a number of others with me. Some were attacked by violent patients here. We'll try to find somewhere safe to hold up until the morning.
Yeah, of course. Sure, it's nothing really, but we'll be able to investigate fully when we get there.
Well, sooner the better.
And you get the sense that you've been taken seriously, and that they took down all the information that you gave, and due diligence was made. There was no attempt to be otherwise other than efficient and take your knowledge seriously. So yeah, that's the
So are they coming, yeah?
They'll be coming in the morning. They can't get out any sooner with the snow and the ice. So, either we go back up to the ward or we find somewhere else to stay for the rest of the night.
I think if we know there's not going to be any more nurses, we could try and like block the door somehow, just to be safe.
Have I caught up by now?
yeah, probably, guys.
That young child is petrified, and the other children in the ward didn't speak. Toys are grotesque. They have deformed dolls. But the young girl is petrified. She said that she was chased in the night by a thing with many arms. And Dr. Drake dragged her back to bed and told her it was a dream. She has marks on her arms. She said the doors were locked.
That's not what she said.
Yes, she did.
No, she didn't.
Said
The doors were gone.
But then she said they were locked. She did say
No,
they
she
were
said
locked.
the front door was locked. But
So, which is very strange. Are we near the front door of it at the reception?
Mm-hmm.
I just stride over to it and try and open it.
Yeah. Front door opens. It's big. I suppose it'll be a big heavy door at the front. Maybe some glass in it. It opens up, no problem. There's maybe double doors, I don't know, yeah. And you can get out and you walk out into that and you're blasted by icy cold snow. At this point now, it's got quite a bit heavier, and you can't see the pine trees at the other side on the border of this courtyard, and then the road and the small grass area just before the fields that you were looking out. Your visibility is reduced to about, I don't know, 400 meters or so, something like that, 400 meters.
Well, doors are open, but no one's getting in or out of this hospital tonight. We need to get back to the ward. I don't know. Back? I was trying to speak to the child again on the way back.
Well, we could take it in turns to kind of stay awake, maybe.
Would be a good idea.
Wait till morning. Someone may as well. In case of any further
shift. Like
violence.
pick up.
Yeah. You
I'll
think the
start
police will be
walking
here
back.
first thing? What do you
They're
think?
not going to get through. It's
Here
not.
in the morning, but
There's no way they're getting
Well,
through that.
it'll take them a few hours.
Let's head back to the ward. And I'll need to speak to that child again on the way through.
Yeah, she's back the way, so she's down the other wing of the hospital. Your wing's the other way, so it's
So start
you
head.
have to walk back down the corridor.
Okay, so I pop back up and try and see if she's there. I'll just quick. Oh no, it's miles away. I don't know what to do. We leave her there. She's so scared. Maybe if she stays in that cupboard, she might stay safe if they don't know where she is. Maybe she's best staying there.
For how long can she stay in a cupboard? Like,
She wouldn't leave.
Somebody will find her, right? Member of staff will find her.
It's the staff that have harmed her, she said.
Oh, it sounded like she was having some kind of nightmare. That's what it sounded like.
Should we go and try and persuade her to come with us and look after her?
I think, well, it's for her own safety.
Do you think she was
This is-
describing Gavin?
Maybe.
Maybe he was waving his arms around or something. I mean, it could have looked like. if
There's
you're
no
half
staff
asleep-
there. There's no staff on the ward. I can't even go and get a staff member to come and persuade her out.
You did notice on the way back up that there was doctors' offices on the way on the side of that corridor.
Some doctors' offices. Shall we go and see if any of the doctors are in? As long as it's not Dr. Drake.
It has to be someone on duty.
Well, I'll go and knock on the first doctor's door that I find. And I'll watch. Come with me.
I think we should go together.
Right.
I'll follow Roberto.
Find the first doctor's door that we come to, and read the name on the door.
They're all called Dr. Drake.
Yeah, this
Not
one is
called-
This one's Dr. Dre.
Doctor. Yeah. This is one of the offices, and none of them have names on, apart from Dr. Drake's office, and Dr. Havertley's.
Is it getting dark enough to have lights on in these offices?
It would be.
It's winter, right?
Is any of the office lights on before we start knocking on them?
No, it doesn't seem to be.
I'll knock on the first one that I see.
No answer.
Try to open it.
Locked.
Try the next one.
Same.
Try them all.
5 or 6 doors. One of them opens. It's not an office though, it's just a door cupboard.
Guess the doctor's not in.
There's no doctors on duty. No staff. No one would have left. No one would have left the hospital if they wouldn't have got through that storm.
Were there people at reception? Where is everyone? There's literally no one out. Have they all left?
Look, there's nurses on our ward normally, right? In the evening.
When did we last see a nurse?
Nurse Clayton and nurse.
But
First one.
have we seen a nurse since last rounds?
No, I mean, You've had your dinner, and they brought stuff in, and
Yeah.
it'd be. Guess you'd
But-
probably get into the time where you would normally expect
Lights out, you're gonna say, aren't
lights
you?
out. Yeah, I mean that'd be about.
Okay,
that kind
you know
of
when I was
time.
in the store cupboard, can I have a quick glance around and see if there's any candles or a torch in there?
Nothing like that. It's mostly cleaning products. Antiseptic. Big vats of antiseptic.
So I was just wondering if, like, while we've been going back and forth around the hospitals, like, have we actually seen anyone staff-wise? So I thought we would bump into somebody somewhere.
So I've gone up these corridors. We've tried these. Am I near this store where this cupboard where this little girl was yet?
Okay.
Because we've gone up
Yeah,
backwards.
you're about halfway down the wing. Halfway to the wing.
Look, I'm gonna go and see this little girl. Then we'll decide where we're gonna head back, and I walk back up the corridor towards
I
her.
think maybe there could be candles in Dr. Drake's or Dr. Haverley's office.
Is the light on in those offices?
Oh, we tried them and there was nothing.
They were locked.
But they're locked.
Maybe
Probably get the door open if you.
you could try it. I'm just gonna. I don't
Okay.
like him anyway. He's horrible.
So what's happening then? Somebody going to try the door? Going to try and...
I think, yeah, Bobby's gonna see if he can pop the lock on the door to Dr. Drake's office. Or whichever
Okay.
one's nearest.
I will
Um,
pointedly turn my back.
Would you like to make a roll?
I could try to assist him because, like, I assume mechanical repair just in reverse.
Well, I've been training to be a mechanic, you see?
I picked up a thing or two.
Yeah?
I will. Am I required to spend a point at locksmith? Or.
That would certainly grease the wheels of the,
Yeah, I'm thinking of
the
time, really.
transaction. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I will do so.
So you spend...
I'll spend a point of locksmith to
Yeah.
open this.
And, yeah. You succeed. The door opens. Getting dark.
Dr. Drake?
Best be quick. I don't think he would have locked himself inside.
Listen. What I've heard and seen today, I'd be locking myself inside. I'll
One
switch the
wall...
light on.
Yeah, one wall is covered with certificates and qualifications. A shelf behind Drake's desk. There's a glass tank filled with writhing maggots.
Interesting.
What?
Centipedes?
There's various curios and statuettes and...
Are there any, like, documents or, like, patient notes that we could see
There is
and
definitely
rattle around?
definitely an extensive library of obscure and outdated medical books.
Ah, as it happens, I have library use 1. So I could use that for finding clues of this
Yeah.
Go for it.
this figurative library.
Yeah.
You have to spend a point, or can you just use it? That's the.
No, I think again you're in a bit of a rush here, aren't you? You're not just doing
So you
this on a
wanna-
casual
yeah.
basis. I think the
Speed
idea
things
of,
up a bit.
Yeah, you don't. You're. I get the point. Yeah.
Oh, I
Um,
can't actually roll it.
No. It's if you
No, you don't.
No, it's the.
I
It's
just
the
spent-
investi-
Drop a point down.
burn your point, and then
Okay.
that
Right,
way
that's
that
1 point for library use.
Okay, so as you're looking through the bookshelves, one of the books sticks out. Everything else is grouped, but there's a book doesn't look like the others.
Can I pick it up and have a look?
It's on the very top shelf. How tall are you? How tall would you like to be?
7 feet tall.
How high up is the top shelf? And I'll probably say it's like 5'8", 5'9". Like it's
Yeah.
not
With really long
tallest.
arms.
Yeah, so
It's
you
like average, slightly above average, I guess.
you reach up. It's a book amongst journals. That's probably why it's stuck out to you. It was odd to see a book amongst all the thinner volumes. And you grab this book and you bring it down. Inside, there's a yellow, curling, black and white photograph of a strange heart-shaped lock on a massive chain.
Interesting. Is there anything else about the book itself, or is it just has that photo in it?
Yeah, that seems to be the only thing of any note. Otherwise, it's an old German textbook.
Okay. It's probably going to be related. Can I pocket the photo?
Sure.
Because, I don't know, in case we run into several heart-shaped locks, I need to tell them apart. What? Do you think?
Pardon me.
What? Okay.
I was thinking of the necklace round his neck.
Yeah, so was I.
Yeah. No, I am.
Yeah.
It was on the way, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
did I?
If we show you these pictures, like if I show the people that ever on this picture, like.
Okay. Well, did you want? So did I go carry on down?
Yeah,
Did
you went downstairs. So do you want to cut to
Okay.
what you're doing then, just to
Okay.
get to place you, and then we'll come back to the Drake's office. So you go back to the girl in the cupboard.
Mhm. Is she still there?
She's still there, yeah.
I tap on it gently.
Mm-hmm.
Then I sort of peep in and go, "Hello, it's me again.
Well,
Have you seen any nurses yet?"
staying here. I'm not going. They won't find me here. I'm safe
Sure,
and
you
warm.
don't. You
She's got a blanket round her.
or the blanket round her. What else is in this cupboard with her?
Her toy. But
Hey, you sure you don't want to come with us? I can look after you.
And as you adjust the blanket, the toy looses and falls on the floor and rattles as it drops down.
Pick it up quickly and give it a back.
Yeah. It's a doll of some description.
Does it look like?
It's got one arm taken off it. There's a hole and you can see inside it.
How long have you been here? How long have you been in the hospital?
For a week.
Is your mummy and daddy?
Don't know.
Know why you're here?
She points down at her foot. Or her leg. I cut myself. With an old, nasty, horrible one daddy's tools. And it poisoned me. And it made me very sick.
Sure you won't let me take you back to the ward?
No, I don't want to go. And she
Okay.
grabs the toy
I lock
off
her
you.
in
Yeah.
and I say to her, right, I'll leave you here. And if I see a nurse, I'll let them know that you're here and they will look after
Don't tell them
you.
I'm here.
Why?
Are you talking to the cupboard door at this point?
No, I haven't shut it yet. Why?
They're really scary.
Okay, if I leave you here tonight, you stay in here. You do not leave.
Mm-hmm.
And admittedly, I did see something scary last night, but I think that's been dealt with, and I'm thinking that's what you would. But I don't know how safe you'll be. Do not leave here, no matter what you hear, unless you hear it's me. Do not leave. And I'll come and get you in the morning.
Okay.
Do not leave. Promise me you won't leave here.
I won't. I'm staying. I'm not going. She gets the blankets and she right back to the cupboard, but right back, and she disappears underneath all of the blankets.
Okay, I shut the cupboard door and I look around. Is there anything around, like a broom or something or anything lying around? It's just a cupboard.
Other
Damn
than
it.
other than
No chairs.
other than the cupboard that you had, the supply cupboard.
No,
that
I was
you
going to
found.
put something in front of it, not so she couldn't get out, but I would know if someone had moved it.
Nothing
that
like
was
that in
all.
the corridor.
Damn it.
Starting to get dark.
And I shut it gently and go, I will be back for you. I'll be back. I promise I'll be back for you in the morning.
Back in the office. Ed,
Yep.
there's a telephone on the desk. You next to it, you see on the desk, there's doodles on a bit of paper. There's a folder in a drawer that's kind of partway open.
I wander over and pull the folder out the drawer. Take a look at the first couple of pages.
X-rays. X-rays of what you assume to be hands and skulls. Yeah, hands and skulls.
Do they look normal to me?
What skill would you be using to assess normality of?
My complete inability to ever have seen an X-ray, most likely. Somewhat inexperienced.
The notepad, as you're rifling about in the drawer, there's just doodles, but there's one theme on them. It's like a bird head. Do you show any of this to the others?
Sorry, I was just writing it in my notes. Yeah, I'll look up to the others and say, I've got some medical X-rays, I suppose, here. Do you have any idea what these are supposed to look like? I'll just hold them out to the others in the office.
I could take a shot with biology. Which one is it? Should I burn a point of biology? I guess.
Yeah, you could burn. Yeah, you could burn the point there if you wanted to, because I think there's a bit of a revelation, I guess, as you're looking at these, flipping through them. You recognise these skulls. I mean, you assume you recognise these skulls. It's difficult, isn't it?
Is it our skulls?
But they're X-rays of your, and you look down at your hand, and it's an X-ray of your hand. It's an X-ray of your skull. It's an X-ray of Roberta. You're sure of it, but you don't remember having X-rays taken.
Guys. So at what point? Where are we at this point? Are we back in our ward, or are we?
You're still in the office.
In the office.
Yeah. Guys, there's these. I think these are ours, but I don't know when these could have been taken, because like we've not been out unconscious, like, or for any scans, have we?
I've certainly not had anything taken in here.
Would they be
This
from?
one looks like me.
And is there anything?
Are they?
Sorry. Karen?
Sorry, are they of all of us, or is it just Roberta and Herman?
No, all of you.
Most X-rays have little stickers on with the names on, so it's probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he? But like with the biology, like, does anything look out of place? Does it
Other
just look like a
than
normal brain scan,
finding
maybe?
X-rays that you don't know
Yeah.
how or when they were taken, no, they look normal.
Okay.
Like maybe they took an X-ray of my skull after the accident. I don't know. He's tapping on this jar of maggots that's sitting on the shelf.
Please don't antagonize the vermin.
You think he's into fishing or something?
I mean, and I think like some places they used to like, I don't know, use maggots to like clean wounds and things, I guess. But like nothing.
Hit him,
Don't know
right?
why, I don't know why they'll be here. Because I think they just eat like dead things.
Ed, you hear footsteps coming from outside.
I hear someone.
It's Papa, run!
I'm just gonna walk over to the door quietly and just peer out and see if I see anybody.
Roberta.
It's Roberta. I'll just stick my head out and gesture to her in case she can't tell which room we're in.
I think.
Ed?
Fuck.
The little girl won't come. She's safe. She's warm. She's got a blanket. I left her there, and we will try and get her out when the police come in the morning. There's nobody about. What have you found in here?
Well, we found that I found this photo of this lock, which seems to have been hidden away in one of these books, and Ed found these little drawings and these X-rays that none of us have any memory of them ever being taken. So
The doctor had a strange necklace on. I wonder if that had anything to do with that lock.
what was special about the necklace?
I can't remember the description.
It's a twisted
was
key.
Twisted key. It's like a twisted key, and
Yeah.
that's very strange. I don't like this hospital. There's something very wrong here, and as more time goes on and on, it's just we need to get out. We need to get out. But there's all these children, and are we the only ward apart from Ward 4?
I would guess it's wards 1 and 2. I guess maybe one of them is like the children. And
Is there anything on the doctor's desk about what wards and patients there is? Ward list, an up-to-date ward list. He must have that on his desk. He did the ward rounds today.
So yeah, you find something. It's split into the West Wing, Central, and East Wing. And it tells you that there's the West Wing has wards 2 and 3 on the first floor, and wards 4 on the second floor. The East Wing is marked as disused. The first and second floor, largely, and that's above you. That's where you are now in the East Wing with the children's ward, and then between Central, you've got the admin sort of central area. You've got the canteen, the chapel, the morgue, and the reception that you were at. And on the first floor, you've got operating theatres and X-ray, and the second floor in the central area is disused, but it looks like it might have once been an operating theatre.
The Ward 4's in the disused bit.
It's in the
No,
west.
it's above the floor
Yeah.
above us.
It's above, yeah.
So in Ward 2, is that the children's ward?
Oh, sorry. You've got. Yeah, let me get this right. You've got the East Wing, and that's Ward
Mostly
1 with the
abandoned.
children's, and the doctors. And then above that, it's disused and empty. Above the children's ward where you are. On the West Wing, where you guys are, you've got, and then you've got Ward 4 above you in the West Wing.
We're Ward 3, so is there not a Ward 2?
I think that's
Yeah,
the children's ward.
Wards 2 and 3. The children's ward's 1.
Okay.
What's in Ward 2?
Good question. You don't know.
Where is Ward 2?
There's one way to find out.
So we have the loonies in Ward 4. Ward 3 is us. And then there's Ward 2. Maybe we should go and warn Ward 2.
Warn them about what?
There's shenanigans afoot.
Somebody's died.
Well, the police are coming as soon as.
Yeah, but maybe this just tonight to make sure
Should we give them a quick check to make sure that they are okay?
alive.
That's
Where
on
is
your
Ward
way.
2? It's on
in
our,
the-
it's on our,
On the way.
It's on your corridor, on your floor, yeah.
So
we're looking on the way back.
Yeah, we're right there.
Josh.
It's on their way.
Are you speaking then, Josh?
I was saying the same thing someone else said throughout.
Oh, okay, okay. Mhm.
We need to get his volume up for tomorrow. We'll have a practice tomorrow afternoon.
All right, so we go to Ward 2. What do we do? Do we tell them there's a maniac at large who's killing
Maybe-
patients?
Maybe we should just see what the things are like in Ward 2 before we decide. Like if
I mean, let's
everything is
face
fine-
it, we don't want to go sounding a bit like old Gavin. They'll end up sending us to Ward 4, won't they?
We'll just have a wander by and look in when we go by. It's
Yeah.
on the way.
There might not even be anyone there. Let's go. We can just see.
We'll head off.
Mm-hmm.
Have a quick look around the office on the way out just to see if there's anything useful or incriminating. I think this.
The murder weapon, perhaps.
No, I just think this doctor's a bit sus because he was horrible to me.
Imposter.
There was a doctor that was horrible to you once, Ange, if you remember, when you're having your back thing. Did you think he was a murderer as well?
Probably.
So you find your way back up the lift and onto the floor, and you are walking along beyond your corridor to where Ward 2 is, and it's empty. There's beds, but no patients in it.
So in this hospital right now, there's no staff. Us, a ward full of mute children, a terrified child in a cupboard,
And 3 crazy people.
and 3 crazy people.
That'll be you three, right?
I'm not the one with a head injury.
Is there a
Look,
nurses station? Have we passed anything? Have we not seen any
Oh,
staff?
look, we know there were nurses up in our ward.
Let's go up into our
Maybe
ward and
just
see.
go and see, yeah, if one of them's there.
Yeah, so you make your way back round the corridors, such as a way to get yourself in. Yeah, there's you're met by the matron, and she just looks at you and says, "What are you doing out of bed? Now, come on. You should not be out. You should be sleeping. Let's get you into your ward now. What do you think you're doing at this time of night? I told you. Oh, and I went to speak with Dr. Drake about what we talked about." And she looks at Ed.
Yep. And he says you're next.
Do not interrupt.
He is quite concerned about the lapse and has assured me that nothing will be able to get out of Ward 4. It's absolutely secured.
So it wasn't absolutely secured last time then?
Where is Dr. Drake right now?
Yeah, he says. She says, never you mind about the doctors. He'll be along to see you in the morning, as he always is in his rounds. Now, get some sleep, will you? You're not going to get better just walking around and gallivanting around the hospital.
Quick question. Which nurse is looking after the children?
She looks up at you. Says, I will be down to visit them momentarily once I've dealt with you and got you in your beds, and I think the children are here, are they not? Now, please.
I don't see any.
Get back in your rooms.
I'm sorry, Nurse Mathers. We just went out for a little cigarette, you know.
A little bit of
I use
cardio.
reassurance on her.
Okay. Yeah. And she seems to be a little bit less worried. She says, well, it's very cold outside. Just don't be spending a lot of time. Get yourself to sleep. Come on. Not good enough walking around here at this time of night. It's getting dark outside and you should be in your bed. Walking around with a bullet wound in you. What do you... My goodness, sir.
I haven't got a...
It's just like, yeah, they're thinking like the old westerns where they hunch over. It's like,
I will walk back into the ward and stand near my bed. Make the motions as if I'm getting ready to go to bed.
Okay. Now, to be fair, you are all recuperating.
Yes.
You are all tired after the exertions of walking about in the hospital.
I'll get into bed.
Yeah, I'm going to get into bed too.
Keep my house coat on and my slippers.
It's cold.
I'll wait until the matron walks away, and once she's left, I'll put something in front of the door as we discussed earlier, and then I'll hop into bed.
Yeah, so you lift there's a tall wooden table with a vase on it, pick that up and you put it in the middle of the door, so if anything's open, it'll knock it over.
Yes. Are we going to take in turns sleeping?
that pot plant's gonna get knocked over. That might work.
Just checking. Is that the only door in and out the ward?
Yep.
Okay, that's good then.
You have to
I
go
could
that
just
way.
imagine us barricaded it and you going, and at the other end of the ward, a madman comes running in.
I'll just climb into the window.
Yeah, well, turns out we barricaded the wrong door. Gavin is coming through.
I would love it if the murderer came in from a different room and different
Fire
door.
exit.
Just saw the like pot plant against the other door. Just like, what is going on? Just close the door and leave because this is getting.
Oh, hold on a minute. Hold on. We have just put this thing against the door on swinging doors.
Yes.
So they will just pull the doors towards them, yeah?
Well, not if they don't know the door. The plant things on the other side.
Nobody expects a
whatever.
pot plant to be on the other side of a door.
Exactly.
I
I mean, what kind of maniac puts a plant in front of a door anyway? Yeah. Nobody's going to expect it.
I think we should take turns.
Yeah, I'm thinking, because they could open the door really sneakily and see it, and then still sneak in if we're all asleep.
I was just thinking, like, so with these like X-rays, like I was having like strange dreams last night. The smell of like I don't know disinfectant and like strange noises. Like maybe
Oh,
when we were asleep last night. Maybe that's when they took the X-rays. I don't know how long it takes for them to make X-rays, but
okay. Let's take it. Taking turns.
maybe we shouldn't all be asleep at the same time.
Sounds like a plan.
Did
I'll go first, then.
anyone else have strange?
No, nothing. No, did I?
Hmm.
I
Just
think
heard
so.
the banging of the pipes. That's all?
Did I? Did I forget
Just
something?
No, I don't think you did.
No, I slept fine.
Just me then. Okay.
So I'm a little bit scared about. Okay.
They already have your X-rays. It'll be fine. What's going to happen next? An MRI? On the NHS?
Hasn't been invented yet. That's terrifying.
So who's going to go on first?
I'll take
Who's
the
going to
first,
go on first one?
and then
Maybe the boy.
I'm really tired.
Can you please bid me some health points if you want to stay awake? Who's going to stay awake? Who's willing to stay awake the most? Bid me the health points.
I mean, we could take turns.
Biddle me this, biddle me that.
So
Are you going to
what
agree
time is it
between
now?
you amicably?
So is it like 11, 12 o'clock? So we're like 7 hours, and
Oh
there's
no,
and
it's
there's.
more, it's more like 9:30, 10 o'clock.
So how many hours have we got? 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 9 hours. So if we take
It's like 3 hours.
2.5 hours each. About that. Yeah. So 2 health points gone if we do a stint each.
Who's staying awake first? Are you agreeing between yourself or
Ed's
I
just
believe
said he'll do
Ed just said he
first.
would do it, yeah.
Ed? Okay, Ed.
I'll do
Um,
after Ed because I'd rather do the earlier part of the evening than the middle of the night. But I'm scared.
Okay. Well,
So Ed does 9:30, 10, 11, 12. Oh no! Can I do the first bit?
or it's the middle of the night.
Yeah. Can I do first stint? Yeah, I'm gonna do first stint. Ed. Can I do the one till midnight and then I'll wake you up?
Yeah.
All right.
And then I'll do the one after Ed, and then it'll be an earlier start for Bobby.
Oh, he's not going to like that.
So
fine. We might
I'm doing
be
the
dead.
first one.
He's a
Because-
teenager, God damn it. He's never seen before 10 a.m.
I mean,
Why do these things get me so? I'm actually scared to do a stint of being awake. Have I got to take 2 health points down?
No, 1 point I think if you're going to agree between you who's going to do it.
Okay.
You lose 1 health point to keep yourself awake.
I thought it was gonna be one of those like those sort of like logic puzzles where it's like, you can dob in your other person and get the reward.
So the
Okay,
rest
so I
of
do
you,
first stint.
the rest of you,
They're gonna get me.
you go to
It's
you
my
go
luck.
to sleep. You have a nice, relaxing sleep. Roberta,
You don't.
They
you
come
are
for you.
you are absolutely bursting for the toilet. And
What skill are you using?
it's outside in
Oh
the
no.
corridor.
Don't make me go.
So-
I do what I normally do. Go and wake someone up and make them walk with me.
You have
And that's true. She does do that.
Wake up Bobby. He looks like he's used to it.
You have a bedpan.
I mean, everyone else is asleep. Also, self-defense. I don't know. It's the last thing the monster will expect.
I'm going to put the bedpan on the floor and crouch down so I can still look over the bed.
As you
Use the bedpan and then position it above the door.
This isn't Home Alone.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So I literally crouch down really quick and I try and wee really quick in the bedpan.
as you try and
Oh no.
as you try to get out of bed,
Yeah.
Everyone else is just like.
the door opens. You try and move, but you can't. It knocks the
plant.
the plant pot over, and it shatters on the floor.
Oh no.
They're going to
We
make us
wake
pay for that, aren't they?
I mean, we didn't break it. I like how that's your first concern. It's like, oh, we're going to have to replace the pot plant.
I just shout.
Not like the sense
just-
of impending doom.
I shout. The door's open.
You try and shout, but there's a waft of, I know, anesthetic, disinfectant, something that wafts in very quickly into the room. And you try to move, and you try to shout, but you can't. You can't move. You really need to pee.
But you
Can I still see though?
Do you want to?
No.
I mean, you can close your eyes if you want. That is a possibility. Just
For the cause.
No, because I'm frozen like that, aren't I?
But she won't know which one of us was
fine.
taken.
It's fine. Yeah. It's fine. I've got psychoanalysis. I can treat you in the morning.
yeah.
Assuming you're still here.
You try and strain your eyebrow, but you're lying. Or you were sitting up in the bed, kind of looking forward. Were you, or were you lying down, or what were you doing?
I put the bedpan on the floor and
No,
then
you
crouched down on the floor.
No,
Did I not?
No, you didn't even get that. You didn't even get that far.
Shit.
Oh,
I'm
no,
not
I
having a
hope
shit. No. Just having a wee. So
So you're in your bed just as you were trying to get out, and then suddenly you
so
just
I'm not
feel
weeing
this...
or anything yet.
No, your body's not responding to your brain impulses. As you try
So
and move
I'm kind of still in bed, but I'm sort of looking at the so I know so I can see what's happening. I was about to get out. Okay, there's nothing I can do.
No, you can't. Your head won't turn round. You're trying to move your eyes round.
Oh, so it's opening behind me. I can't even see.
Well, you're kind of you're on one side and
Maybe the side, I guess, and the door is
That's
open to the left or the right of us,
to the
whichever.
left.
That's even worse.
That's terrifying. Okay, and I can't say anything.
No, your body, your eyes, nothing's working now. The smell that you have is just overpowering, and you hear noises on the floor, and you hear the sound of squeaky wheels as beds
Oh no.
are taken.
Am I taken?
Not you.
Shit!
Is it
And I can't move.
The two closest to the door.
Okay.
Who is? Who's got? I don't know. No, I don't know because I can't see. Oh no!
Oh, we know one of them.
Yeah. No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't.
It's that girl that came in that's not woken up yet. It was.
Yeah, there's 6 beds in the ward. But we'll find out.
they-
We'll find out, guys. We'll find out next week.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a good
Shit!
time. That's
Yeah.
a good point to call it there.
Maybe they're just taking the 2 empty beds.
Yeah, good point.
Just the porters getting rid of empty beds.
Yeah.
We're freaking out about
Those beds were needed elsewhere.
yeah, and all these other wards that don't have
Yeah.
patients.
You lot
Yeah.
can joke. You're going to go and have.
I mean, it's already
Yes.
happened to me once, from what I can tell.
I hope you like your testicles.
No, I hope
I
you
still
don't
have them
like your
from- I
testicles.
still have them from the night before, so it's all good. I might get superpowers. Oh dear.
Oh shit!
I know. Oh man.
See, I thought doing the first watch early on would make things safer for me.
Well, that was the thing with like the scans and then like the storeroom having all the disinfectant or whatever, and I was like, like right at the end, I brain checked, and I was like, wait a second, I know when this happened, or like I assume this is when something happened, and you're like, oh god.
We saw the storeroom with all of them in as well.
Yeah, so that's that smell of disinfectant and the noises that was from my night before, which is.
So long, boys. It was nice knowing you.
Shit.
Excellent.
Oh damn it.
Right, so we need at least this is obviously a one shot, but in true fashion
Yeah.
of one shots, it's a one shot in 9 hours or 6
It's
hours.
a one
or-
shot in 2 sessions. That's
Yeah.
what it
Yeah,
is.
we have 2 sessions for it anyway.
Yeah. So we're going to be taking on part 2. When's part 2 of this one? Ange?
Next
Have you-
Friday.
Next Friday. Excellent.
Is it?
Yeah. So we've got invasive procedures today, mutants and masterminds tomorrow. Monday is me and Infinity doing the another Call of Cthulhu read through.
Solo-ish Cthulhu.
Solo-ish Cthulhu on the Monday, and then Friday is second part of 2 or 3. By the speed
Invasive
we play any games.
Procedures.
Of invasive procedures, and Saturday Mark is running Edge of Darkness, which is another Cthulhu, which I've actually done. I'm not playing that one because I've played it. So
Actually, yeah, do we need players for that?
we got 1 space on that, so I'm not actually I can't remember how many there's that. So I
Only
don't.
one space.
So I'm not sure if you've got 2 or 3 or 4 players in that one. I can't remember. And then the week after, it's Casting the Runes, the house with the brick kiln. And then it's the Lurkers, or part 3 of this one, if we don't get.
Oh.
So yeah, and then we will set the schedule for November, because obviously we've got the second part of Shadow the Demon Lord.
Yeah, I've got
Mm.
a wild card D&D game possibly coming up on the 25th of October. I haven't quite firmed it up yet.
That was at 25th, yeah, you
Sunday.
said.
So it's a wild card. We'll talk a bit more about it, I think, in Discord. But basically, yeah, if anybody would like to play a game, it'll likely be somewhere around. It'll be quite a late one because it's going to involve somebody from Australia. It's a very, very special guest. It's somebody who makes one of the tools that I use during my D&D games. And they've just recently gone through a big rebrand, relaunch of their products. Absolutely fantastic. And what we're going to do with this particular game is I'm going to improvise, just using their tool and improvisation, a one-shot, using their generator. So they're going to play a game of D&D that's generated by their own generator, and with me as DM. So we're looking for people to join in on that. It's going to be a bit of fun. It's only going to be 2 or 3 hours. It's not going to be a massive session because it'll be quite late. But so yeah, have a look out for that in Discord if you're not already in Discord and you'd be interested in just having a bit of fun for a game of D&D on a Sunday night. But it will be quite late. I'm on holiday the next day, I hope. Because I won't have to get up quite so early. So that's one reason why. But anyway, yeah. So that's another thing that's potentially, I've not quite firmed out the details, but I'll give them coming up quite soon. So, but yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining. Josh, thank you very much. What's what are you going to be playing? Are you're joining us for Mutants and Masterminds?
I am.
Excellent.
Yes, he's done his character. I've done my character.
I haven't. Doing that tomorrow.
Oh, slacker.
I've done some of it. I have talked with our games
So
master.
I've got a name.
Isn't that like the centre of a superhero? If you've got
Yeah,
the
it's just a
thematic
name, right?
name, everything else
That's
just
it.
falls into place.
Yeah,
Oh wait, are we
exactly.
all playing Mutants and Mastermind tomorrow?
I think it is again. Yeah, it is. It
Yeah.
is a lot again.
So you get to see all of us again.
Sorry,
I won't.
folks. It's us again.
I'll be in the middle of nowhere at the Kildare Observatory tomorrow night, so
It's not.
I'll be freezing my butt off while the rest of you are nice.
forgot.
That sounds kind of cool, though.
Is that
That sounds kinda cool.
Kildare Forest then, is it?
Yeah, it's
It's a
right in the middle
huge-
of nowhere.
I know it. I
Yeah.
know it very well. I do. It's not
Yeah.
far away from where I grew up. So, yeah.
Yeah, we had space for
You
one
grew up
more,
in
but I
the
think it's
forest?
too late now to do it. So
Yeah. So that's it, guys. We'll be back on again in about 20 hours or so.
we're gonna go get some sleep.
Gonna go get some sleep.
Yes.
You have a good one as well. Thank you to everybody for following and for chatting and for theorizing and for just keeping these guys right.
And keeping
Brilliant.
our nuts intact, which
Yeah,
we're truly grateful for.
roll on the M&Ms.
I have fun tomorrow, Lloyd. If there's any cool photographs, let us see them.
Get
Yeah,
some,
I'll see what I can do.
get some
Yeah.
spooky forest mist things. That'd be awesome.
Make sure
as
I
well.
charge my SLR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll catch you all tomorrow. So watch
Today.
out the Discord. See you all today in a few hours.
Bye bye.
Bye.
All right, have a good one.
Bye.